You're watching the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Welcome to the Brent and Austen Show, everybody. I'm Austen Lane Jason Hamby, pushing all the right buttons. Brent Martineau will be here momentarily. Should we start calling him momentarily Martineau? We'll see. Hamby.
Friday, baby.
Yeah, you know, you say it like it's a good thing, and it is a good thing. It's Friday, right?
So,
weekend's right around the corner. Maybe we got a foot in the parking lot already.
potentially.
Winding down. Hamby, it's not a good Friday, though, man.
Oh.
Not sure if you saw the news. Thoughts and prayers and condolences. Anybody that is a gamer, and I don't really consider myself a gamer, but I'll play the top cuts.
Okay.
I'll play the choice cuts, if you will. Grand Theft Auto 6, Hamby. This one, we've been waiting now, it seems like, for 15 years. Has officially been delayed until 2026. It's supposed to come out this fall, right in time for the holiday season. Nah. Gotta work out some of the bugs, if you will.
Okay.
So I think they said March or something, or April 2020, basically a year from now. So we have one more year, hopefully. It'll come out, or unless it'll get delayed again. Now, Hamby, I'm not sure if you've grown up with Grand Theft Auto, but
Nope.
yes?
No.
No, not at all.
I've played it a couple of times at a buddy's house.
Wasn't for you, huh?
I just was never going to buy it because I was locked in on MLB The Show, 2K, and Madden.
How old are you again, Hamby?
24.
I feel like because like Grand Theft Auto, like, yeah, keep in mind, I'm
It's
one of
my
the
age, yeah.
I'm one of the OGs. Like, I was in middle school, I think, when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, and Grand Theft Auto 3 kind of changed the whole game because then it was like, whatever you want to call it, 4 or 3D. It was different, right? It wasn't necessarily like the over top game anymore. Then it was like you're actually the character, like third person shooter, whatever you call it,
Sure.
man. I'm not a scientist, but I don't know why. Yeah, but I feel like through generations though, like then you had San Andreas, and you had Vice City, then you had San Andreas, then you had whatever 5. Like, dude, Grand Theft Auto has been a staple for a lot of kids for a lot of years. I can't believe you missed the trend.
You can believe that?
I can't believe. I mean, like, I understand, like, all right, baseball games and stuff, but like, dude, it's like an iconic. It's like Americana, man. It's like right up there with like Tetris and I don't know, ping pong. Like it's part of Americana, and you've completely missed out on it.
Well,
yeah, it's okay, man. So you're not even gonna sniff the new one. Like
no.
you're not even gonna watch any clips of the new one.
I doubt I will ever play because I just don't know when I would play or where.
It's a good point, YB400. Sometimes I don't know if Hamby's way too young or if Hamby's way too old. Right now, Hamby, I guess, is way too old. And dude, like, you're talking to the guy who my sophomore year of high school, San Andreas came out. And we had a road football game on a Friday night in Suring, Wisconsin, which was like an hour and a half away from where I grew up in Iola, Scandinavia. And I sent my mom out after that game. So, I don't know, game probably started at 7, probably ended like around 9 o'clock or so. My mom was in the Walmart parking lot at Suring, Wisconsin at 9:30 at night, waiting in line of like probably 200 people so her son could get Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's what we're talking about, Hamby, when we say dedication, and that's what we're talking about when we're saying Americana.
I can't match that.
No, you can't. And I wish you would get on board. Brent, not going to ask you because, you know,
don't bother.
old. It's all good.
Pac-Man? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, Grand Theft Auto? What, if they got something new coming out? What are we talking about?
You know, like I just.
Why? You shouldn't be
Brett, come
surprised
on,
if
man!
this-
Like, welcome to 2000. Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 6 was supposed to come out this fall, and now that they delayed it until 2026 of like March or April.
26.
Yes, and a lot of people who are gamers who just grew up with Grand Theft Auto feel a certain type of way about it, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
dude, I don't need that reaction.
See,
no, like you thought I was going to know.
You need the reaction, just like Hamby needs the reaction when he says, "I didn't really grow up playing." Like, it's a piece of Americana. Like, do you know how much stuff has like come from Grand Theft Auto and pop culture?
That Americana happened when I was like 25 years old. Like, I wasn't playing video games at 25.
He was interviewing Paul Tuggett Red Sox owners.
I mean,
Killer Tofu, you're not lying. Yeah,
right? I mean, what was the first Grand Theft Auto seriously did come out? Like, would have been...
Oh, dude, we're talking like 90s.
Oh, was it that early?
Yeah. Because like that was... So like I talked about before he came in, like Grand Theft Auto changed the game because the graphics and everything, like that kind of revolutionized gameplay. But I think like the first Grand Theft Auto was in the 90s.
Revolutionized gameplay. That's pretty sweet.
Dude, you think I'm lying, man?
I know you're not lying.
Yeah.
It's just funny to hear you say.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I thought Zelda revolutionized gameplay.
Nah, we're all good. We're all good. We're all good, man. Yeah. But I mean,
I know what Grand Theft Auto is, folks. I just don't. I never played it, obviously.
Yeah. I can't tell when the first one came out. 1997.
Wow. But you'd think it would have been in college for me.
Yep.
What was that first like gaming? Would that have been like
Oh, wait, don't tell him, Austin.
Oh, wait.
Am I supposed to?
I mean,
I want you to guess.
You can try.
Was it like Sega? Genesis? Or was it
gonna be a little later than that?
It wasn't Nintendo.
No.
I was still playing Tecmo Bowl, dude, in college.
I mean,
I
to
was
be
in college
fair,
in 1997.
To be fair, so like the first one, it came out either like on the computer, like Windows, or else it was on PlayStation.
So PlayStation goes all the way back to 97? Mm-hmm. Really?
Like the OG, the
I thought
gray
it was like
one.
early 2000s for PlayStation.
What was the first game console that you owned, Austin?
That I bought or that I owned?
That your mom or someone bought for you it was
the one
within your house.
Yeah, the first one that was in my house was called the Sega Master. And I think it was my dad's or one of my dad's friends. I don't know. Somehow my mom got a hold of it. You know, didn't see my dad in like 15 years, but I got a Sega whatever Master. I was great. But no, so Sega Master came out before Sega Genesis. And
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, hey, you do, Brett. You know why? Because it lasted like a year.
Really?
So it wasn't nothing special. But I had the Sega Master, and then I had a Nintendo, and then my grandma got me a Super Nintendo from a garage. That was, once again, talking about revolutionary.
Super Nintendo?
Well, because you had to stop blowing the cartridges. Like when I had my regular Nintendo, you had to blow on the cartridges. Hamby, you'll never know. You had to blow on the cartridges. Sometimes you had to take rubbing alcohol and like take a Q-tip and try to like clean it out and everything.
I did that.
Just so it would work. Oh, dude, I got so lightheaded. So I killed so many brain cells trying to blow on cartridges and like just almost make myself pass out. But once Super Nintendo came out, oh man, just set and forget it.
My first one was we've had this conversation before, so I'll go quick. Odyssey.
Yeah.
Heard of that?
Yep. I know of it.
The neighbors down the road are the ones that I remember. I can vividly remember. I mean, gosh, I must have been 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And I can vividly remember them play ColecoVision.
Yep.
Is that what it was called? ColecoVision?
That is a thing.
That was like it had like the huge. It looked like one of those old car phones.
Okay.
As like the gaming, the whatever you call the controller.
Yep, I got you.
So, and it had like a knob on it that you could control. But I mean, it really looked like a TV remote / car phone.
It was
huge.
Yep.
But that was ColecoVision, I think it was, and then Odyssey is one I had, which was so bad. But I had it. I don't know where I got. I don't know where my parents got it from me. It was really bad. And then obviously Nintendo came along and Atari. I felt like Atari was Atari before Nintendo? Or were they out at the same time?
No, Atari was before Nintendo.
So everybody who was maybe on an Atari shifted to a Nintendo? Would that be fair?
It's probable.
I'm trying to figure out like what was today's PlayStation versus what was the other console that people were?
Well, I mean, now you got PlayStation, Xbox, and then you have like the Switch to Nintendo.
Okay, so is there like a 3-way competition? PlayStation,
Right now?
Xbox. Switch, or is it more PlayStation, Xbox still?
No, I mean, Switch is going to release the Switch 2 here coming out in a couple months, I believe. So, like, I mean, they're still in competition, but they kind of all stay in their own lane. Like, I guess you'd say Xbox and PlayStation compete. Yeah, kind of like iPhone and Motorola.
iPhone and Android or something,
kind of,
right?
Yeah, but like I think iPhones are far superior. Like, everyone's got the iPhone.
Yeah.
I think we talk about Xboxes or PlayStations, it's pretty comparable.
It is.
Yep. But needless to say, yeah, man, so March 2026, me and my son will be... going to get some bonding time in and running amok on those streets, which, by the way, takes place in Florida. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Really?
It's going to be like in South Florida and stuff.
So the whole setting of the game is in a city?
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So like San Andreas, that was based off of like, what would that have been? No, thank God that came out before the movie. No, there was like Grand Theft Auto 4, I think that was like LA, like Compton area. San Andreas is like, I think all of California. I can't remember, man. I'm slacking now.
It is interesting, the evolution of the game console.
Oh, yeah, man.
In the little side, I mean, we didn't even mention like a game. Like, to me, the Switch, I have no idea. I've never even had, I don't know what that even looks like. Like, you could put it in front of me right now, but it feels like that's like, remember when Game Boy came out? To me, in my mind, that's like the alternative, not the Xbox, PlayStation group. You might even have one of those and a Switch. Yeah. Much like you would have maybe had an early PlayStation or a Nintendo and a Game Boy.
So the Switch is basically, it's handheld. It's like a Game Boy on steroids, but then you can also hook it up to your TV.
Okay.
But nothing ever beat the PSP. That was like my middle school year.
Yeah.
That was.
So what is that?
PSP is a portable PlayStation.
Oh, so same type of thing. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I started the first thing I ever played was a 64.
Oh yeah, that was classic.
But I didn't own it. I was at my cousin's, and then I got a Game Boy 03 when I got to like 5th grade or 4th or 5th grade, and then I graduated that to the PSP.
Okay.
And then it was like PlayStation 2, and then 3, and then 4.
Is PlayStation the most successful one now? Would you say
I feel like
Xbox
is bigger.
Right now. I mean, it's close.
I mean, along the run of it, like for 25, if it's been going, I didn't realize it goes all the way back to 96 or 97.
Yeah. By the way, in case you guys were wondering, since its infancy, Grand Theft Auto has generated over $9.54 billion. I'm sorry. No, this isn't even since the first Grand Theft Auto. Since GTA 5 launched in September of 2013, it has generated $9.54 billion. But don't tell me it's not a piece of Americana or anybody.
So is it the most successful game ever?
I have no idea. I don't have the numbers in front of me, Brent. I'm sure Candy Crush or something is like probably the most successful game because
Call of Duty's not bigger?
I'm just going off what I see right here, man. This is according to...
so where does like a recent Fortnite...
Tweettown.com, huh?
Where does a recent Fortnite rank?
Oh, I'm sure it's up there as well.
But you just said... What did you just say?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, but I think Call of Duty kind of has gone downhill because it's literally the same game every series except they add like celebrities now. Like Fortnite, for a lot of the hardcore gamers, ruined Call of Duty. Because now all of a sudden it's like it's not so much about like the war part and like the shooting. It's more about like, hey, I just unlocked Seth Rogen in my game. Cool. Like Seth Rogen's a character now in Call of Duty.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got Wii Sports at 4 with 83 million copies sold. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is not series. This is individual.
So this is like the hard just the game itself.
Just Grand Theft Auto 5 was 200 million plus.
But now take in mind the add-ons and everything. Like that's where they made their money.
Minecraft 300 million.
Mm-hmm.
This one's gonna hurt for all of us.
Robux? Is that Roblox or something?
Tetris.
I was wondering about Tetris.
520 million
copies. Huh.
And what's number one?
That's Tetris.
That was number one.
Yeah.
But see, I can see that because, like, again, I'm not playing Grand Theft Auto, guys. Like, I'm just not into it. I'm not into any of the things that I'm not into Fortnite. I'm never.
You're not missing much there.
I'm not, but I do think like if you're a 40-year-old Brent, and I really would like if Tetris came out, that could be more across genres of ages and demographics. And because, I mean, it's no different now than Wordle or something, right? Like,
sure,
I mean, that's kind of like the Wordle version of a video game.
Yeah.
It gives you something to do.
It's calming. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of...
So that makes sense to me. I guess is what I'm getting at.
I hear you. Yeah, I get you, man. Like the olds, they want like just more of just like relaxing and
yeah, but
and
the
chilling.
kids also can get to it. Like it crosses all the. I think even an 8-year-old could have fun with Tetris.
Well, be careful because I introduced my son to Tetris. That lasted 3 minutes. He goes, "What's the point?" I'm like, "Well, you got to match the blocks up." And then he goes,
"Some 8-year-olds."
Well, he goes, "What happens then?" I'm like, "That's it." He goes, "You played this?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was actually like we played this for hours." Oh, okay.
Is Wordle still a thing right now?
Probably. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I feel like Wordle and we say this. That was when Casey used to play a lot. It's like the baseball and sports. The nine thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Daily Dozens?
That lasted 6 months.
I always forget about like what the hell that was called. It's not a hard name either. But anyway,
you guys got to play Framed. Framed is the new one.
Oh, so is that the new one people are on?
Well, some of them are on. So basically, they take movie frame like from a movie. They take stills from a movie, and you got to guess what movie it is.
That's good.
Immaculate Grid.
Immaculate Grid.
Immaculate Grid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you don't remember them?
I know of it. Yeah, I didn't.
Which was cool. Cool concept. Mm-hmm. That's a good concept. I wouldn't be very good at that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if did they have another one where like you play like a 3 seconds of a song, like name that tune.
Oh, I'm sure they.
I wonder if there's copywriting.
Oh no, they got it. I think you could
be able to do that.
I think you'd be all right.
So, what do you think? We talk sports today or a game show today? Like I don't care. We had Jacksonville feud yesterday.
Whatever you're feeling,
First
man.
rookie draft pick has signed.
Oh, really?
Smile Mondon from Georgia.
It's so funny. I'll say this every year. People sign. It's like we used to wait for people to sign.
Yeah.
You know, you say it. Tyson Alualu came in through the airport, and we were there to greet him because he was in Hawaii as camp was starting, and it was a drama. Right? It was like, oh, are they going to sign him?
Dude literally got off the plane and Jack Doherty goes, "Hey, very cool. Thanks for signing. Here's an Oklahoma drill for you. Oh, by the way, it's against Vinny too. Have fun." Yeah.
I think you guys already mentioned, but we got Pat Bryant coming on the show at 11 o'clock. 11:30, we will have Mike Silver, who is in the draft room, catching up with Mike a little bit later on the show at 12:45. We'll have Jacksonville Sharks on. Play a little Kentucky Derby game today, a little betting as well with Casey in the noon hour. So a lot of stuff to get to here on a Friday. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week and beautiful weather heading into the weekend as we hit the month of May.
Let me ask you this with the Kentucky Derby, Brent. Like, you're going to watch it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you watch, like, all the pre-show coverage? Because it's, like, 3 hours.
No, it's longer than that. It's like 6.
Okay, it's like 6 hours of pre-show coverage with everyone in their stupid hats. And, like, I don't understand it.
I would tell you this. And for people who don't know, like I covered horse racing for like 5 years in Albany, New York, and I will tell people to this day it's the most favorite thing I've ever covered. It was really just a cool. It was. I knew horses and stuff a little bit. My dad actually has a passion for horses, and so I know about, but never like race horses. Like that wasn't it, and. I got to Albany and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And it was spurred in Albany by Funny Side. Go look Funny Side up. And it was like this underdog horse from like the Albany area ownership group wins the Kentucky Derby out of nowhere, wins the Preakness, and then had a chance at a Triple Crown. So like the story was amazing. It's one of the great stories in horse racing history, quite frankly. And so I covered that. And so that was kind of a cool thing. I mean, it was like covering the Super Bowl up there. But every year they have they call it a meet in the month, like late July into August, early September, right when Giants training camp was going on. Those were the two big things we covered every day that time of year. And it was cool to cover. In our medium, horse racing is just really neat because you get all the sounds and the colors. And I always just thought the coolest thing was you get up early in the day. It kind of made for a different day. It's almost like covering golf. Where golf would be like over at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Well, horse racing's over at like noon. I mean, they wake up and they run the horses at like 5 in the morning as the sun's coming up. So if you were going to go do a story, you got up at 4 in the morning, went up to the track, talked to the jockey, the owner, the trainer, and you were there with the sun coming up and doing your story, and then you were done for the day. So that part was kind of unique as well. And you could it's like old NASCAR is the way I say it. Old NASCAR. The reason why NASCAR got hot in the early 2000s, probably a myriad of reasons, but I think the reason is you could reach out and touch those guys. Sure. Like, you could go right down the pits. You could walk by the garage. You could shake hands with Jeff Gordon and everyone that was a star. They've become more superstars now in NASCAR. The money has hit that game, and they fly in on their private jets, and they fly out. It's not as intimate with the athlete as it used to be in NASCAR. But I really think that opened the door to NASCAR. That was its heyday, is when that people are like, well, this is kind of cool.
Okay.
Well, horse racing, I don't know if it's still like this because I haven't covered it in a while, but it was like that. Like, you can name your favorite trainer and you could just go call the barn and they would pick up. Or you could go there and like get an interview with them. Bob Baffert, walk up to the barn and get an interview with him. Like, who could you do that with in sports? So, like, from a coverage standpoint, it was really kind of neat.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you could gamble while you were covering it.
Not frowned upon you like that.
You literally could do that, and we did.
Okay. So, but getting back to like the coverage part, here's why I can't stand the coverage. Because it's like what you said, 6 hours. 6 hours. It's stupid because, well, we can't talk to the horses. So, like, we can't. No, but hang on. Like, we can't talk to the competitors. So, like, we don't know, like, what they're thinking. Like, it's one thing if you're just talking about NASCAR racing, right? Like, yeah, let's go interview so-and-so. How you feeling about the race today? Like, you get, like, the proper pregame stuff.
Yeah, that's
With
fair.
horse racing, it's just, like, a bunch of celebrities who think they know because they read like one, article or they watched one YouTube video and now they're experts. Like, it literally drives me up a wall. Like, I will go out of my way not to watch any pre-thing, and then when I see on Twitter, like, okay, it's getting ready to start, all right, then I'll go watch the horse race.
Okay, let me ask you this, though, because to answer your question, which I did, and I took it on a tangent, but I won't watch that.
Yeah.
But I think I would watch that, or a lot of it, because I like the storytelling and everything else and learning about the horses if I was just locked in on a Saturday afternoon. Like, in my day, like, I would watch today. They have the Kentucky Oaks today. Today's a really good horse racing day. The Breeders' Cup is a great day. So back then, I would watch a lot of that stuff, and I was really into it and kind of felt like I knew what was going on. I have just lost touch with it, so I don't know that, so I'm not as intrigued by it. And also, the schedule usually just doesn't allow. But do you watch the pregame of the Super Bowl? Because honestly, I don't do that either. It's 7 or 8 hours long, and I don't. Now, maybe that's because of my job. Sometimes we've been at the Super Bowl, so you're not in front of a TV, but I don't sit there and dial in at noon on the Super Bowl and be like, I'm going to watch the next 7 hours until the Super Bowl kicks off. And they do have real life people being interviewed.
No, I'll have the background of the Super Bowl because it's almost like it's the lead up to the biggest event of the year. So like I don't even want to like miss it. It's background noise to me. Okay. Like I enjoy it.
Yeah, and then maybe you'll poke in if something catches your attention. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, do you, Hamby, watch like that whole day of it, or do you kind of tune in more like maybe about 5 o'clock you start getting in, you get to the party, wherever it is, right?
I'm not watching all day. The only pregame I'm watching is College Game Day. That's it.
That's a good point.
Across any sport, that's the only pregame I'll watch.
Oh, I'll watch NBA too, just because of Shaq and Chuck.
More pregame, not just halftime, postgame? Because I feel like I'll watch halftime, postgame there.
Yeah, halftime, postgame, but like pregame's fun too.
If I was an NBA fan, I'd watch that too.
Yeah, because that to me is the best halftime, pregame show you got going on.
Yeah.
Even with all due respect to College Game Day, I love College Game Day too, but like you can't beat Shaq and Chuck.
I'm just a bad to have this conversation. I live in a different world, in that sense. But it's cool to kind of understand. I mean, listen, a lot of work goes into those pregame shows and other shows. So to be able that people really do lock into it. Obviously, they would, or they wouldn't do 7 hours, right? Like NBC. Yeah. And here's the other thing that I think people miss is they bounce back and forth between other races. Like, so they're embracing, obviously, the gambling part. You can bet on other races all day at the Kentucky Derby. It's not just the Derby race. Yeah, so that's what's different about the Super Bowl and other sports. Like, it's more UFC, where there are undercards.
Yeah.
Every half hour that you're betting on. So I get it's got more of that. Where, okay, a lot of people are going to tune in at night to see the main event for UFC on Saturday night.
Correct.
But you might also check out from 6 o'clock on 8 other fights.
Yeah.
Which is what I usually do because that's where it's free on ESPN.
There it is.
So, it's kind of wild. I don't know, though. Like, again, I like it. I really enjoy the Derby. It's a couple of minutes I don't want to miss, and I know what's going on. And if I miss it, I'll quickly get it on Twitter or something else. But I don't know how other people feel about it. Like, Our chat will be a great example of it. I don't know what they're saying in the chat, but do you watch Kentucky Derby? I would say a lot of people won't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would think the younger, I'm not sure the younger generation, not that everybody in our chat's younger, but I don't know, like Hamby, I guess you're a good example. Like, you going to watch a Derby tomorrow, or you don't, like, honestly, you going to watch?
Nope.
You could care less.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I'll watch like the big race
whenever the highlight comes.
I mean, it's literally 2 minutes, so you can
Twitter?
catch it. Yeah, on Twitter, right?
Like at 9 or 10, when I'm more on my phone and catching up on things in the day, probably tomorrow, then I might watch it.
Yeah,
but I won't miss it.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
I do think it falls in the line of like a UFC or
horse racing.
Well, no, in terms of the niche nature of it. Like,
ooh, I disagree. Because think about it, Brent. How many people are going to watch year-round horse racing? Like, people are going to tune into the Kentucky Derby. They might tune into like the Belmont Stakes. I don't know the name of the other one. Like, I don't think people are going to watch like a smaller regional horse race.
No, they're definitely not going to.
But like, people will tune in every single week to watch.
Okay, but I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I think if McGregor fought once a year,
okay,
people would tune in for the McGregor fight.
Sure.
And that UFC card that day, and then never come back until the next year when he fights again. And I think that's the way like the Derby is.
Well, that's how boxing was. Like, for me, like, I wasn't in the golden age of boxing. So when Pacquiao / Mayweather would fight once a year at the end of their careers, those would be the only boxing matches that I'd watch. But now, Brent, I think maybe you could have made an argument that it used to be that way. And I'm not saying you don't think this, but UFC is way more part of pop culture.
No doubt. No, listen, I'm not telling you my UFC example is the greatest of examples. I think you could have a couple other sports like this. I'll give you that maybe it's the Olympics that are like this. It's weird because it's once every 4 years. But let's just say like Phelps, right? Or Usain Bolt is going to run a big race. It doesn't mean you watched all his pre-races in like Jamaica and everywhere else, but you're going to go tune in for that star event.
The comparison here in this country would either be the Four Nations or it would be the World Cup for soccer.
Yeah, World Cup soccer. Good. The only thing is it's not every year. That's the problem. So it's a hard thing to draw exact parallel to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're on the same line. I mean, we're not going to miss it, even if we're not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Most people, or they're going to tune into it for that one time. Because I think you're exactly right. People are tuned into the Derby, and then they forget 2 weeks later the Preakness Stakes happens.
Yeah.
I mean, and then maybe tune in for the Belmont just because the Triple Crown might be on the line. So
that's the only way, I think.
Right.
Like, if there's no Triple Crown on the line, I'm like, I could care. No, seriously, like, because you want to see history.
I'd rather watch a squirrel race.
Yeah, there you go, man. Hey.
That's funny. Hey, and by the way, it is. I'm not trying to convince you of it. Like, I think that's perfectly fine. Like, I bet. Like, do you think there are a lot of people tune into the Daytona 500 and then never watch a NASCAR race the rest of the year?
No.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean,
I would suggest
ratings going to tell you. I have no idea.
4 point whatever for a Sunday this week, but it was 11 or something for the 500.
Got you.
Right. So there are plenty of people that tune in for the Super Bowl and never watch a football game the rest of the year.
True.
Like, that actually does exist. I know that doesn't sound right, but it actually does exist.
It's simply just because of the FOMO. Like, you want to be a part of what everyone else is watching.
And the Derby does have some of that. All right, hey, let's take a break. We got a long guest list today, and it starts when we come back. Cool local story. Trying to make a run at the U.S. Open. We'll visit and introduce you to him when we come back on the Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. A lot to get to here on a Friday edition of the show. And check out the lineup. Started with Miller and Moulton. College football. Hamby, if you missed it, you get it at 3 o'clock again. We got soccer at 2. We got golf at 1. Young and Norvell show at 4. Shark Bites coming up at 7 as the Sharks are home on Saturday downtown at the arena. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnicht has a treating you right guarantee. Courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnicht. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnicht. GMC. We are professional grade.
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the note for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Kinetico reverse osmosis system with a purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Kinetico water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Ah, there he is, Travis Hunter. We didn't talk about him much yesterday. I'm like, oh, did we miss something? And this guy, so good. You know, have you had a lot of talk around town, like, or when you've been out and about? About Travis Hunter? About Hunter?
Sure. Yeah.
So I have too. Like, I was at the dentist yesterday, right? Or if you're somewhere else, like, and they're like, man, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah,
like that is really the vibe you get. And again, like I feel like, not that I'm the authority on this, but obviously we're down there in the building, and what I continue to tell people, like I think this is okay to say in front of Mike, like he's just a great kid. Like they really, you know what, the Gladstone, when he professed what he professed, and everybody is like, whoa, this is like a sermon here, right?
Yep.
And what he said, I believe at that moment, I think it was in that moment, maybe it was a different one, where he said we got him because he's a great football player and he's a great human.
Yeah.
Like they really believe that way about him. Like there's levels of this. Like obviously you're getting a unicorn player. Is that the biggest part of it? Absolutely, right? I mean, you know, we want to get a guy if he's not this good of a football player. So there's that level, and you hope, and we talk about where you're going to fit in, everything else, and how much you're going to play him. The other part, though, is they really do value him as a human being. Like, I mean, that smile, like that persona, he is all football. Like everything you hear about him, it's football and fishing. And that's about it. Yeah. And then we'll throw some family in there because I'm sure that is it too. And then the last part of this is their hope is that it's contagious. Like his energy, that youthfulness is contagious. They need some of that in the building. And so I look at it as like a three-pronged thing. Okay. And while some people will sit here and say, hey, did you give up too much or this or that? Like when the Jags actually marry it up, yeah, they might have felt like they got a first-round pick at wide receiver and a first-round pick at corner, but they really feel like his value above a Mason Graham or maybe even an Ashton Genty or somebody like that are these other things as well that go along with the football side. And so they are looking at this as a whole package deal. And then, by the way, Shad Khan might be looking at it as like, hey, it's pretty good for the brand, too.
No, I mean, listen, it's all good for a lot of reasons, and it all stems from his personality and what he brings to the table off the field, right? Like, you know what he's going to do on the field. It's going to be something that we probably have never seen before, but to stay as humble and just fun-loving, I mean, I think it's a great lesson to all athletes out there.
Yeah.
You see Travis Hunter in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, and the dude's always smiling and he's having fun. And that's how it should be. That's how your profession, that's how your passion should be, right? Where if you're coming to work every single day, you got a bad attitude, you're not smiling, well, then guess what? Productivity, probably not going to be the best. You're not going to be contagious to anybody, and nobody's going to want to be around you. But if you show up every single day, you're dancing and you're laughing. Now, keep in mind, like, that's great. He's also got to perform on the field, right? If he performs on the field like we all think he's gonna, then yes, it's going to be contagious in that locker room. It's going to be contagious in the city. It's going to be contagious, I feel like, nationwide.
Just one more thing before we get to our guest here. Jared Garcia going to join us in just a moment. But YB400 says day and night from C.J. Henderson being selected. And I've seen a lot of that. I do think, and remember, if you remember C.J. Henderson, it was like he was like kind of just stoic or almost like disappointed.
It was a meme, yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to me how much people responded to his reaction of being drafted. And it's two ways to look at it, right? You could be drafted because you're being drafted. You're number 2 overall, a dream come true. Or because you're coming back home to Florida, which he has said. And Jacksonville is a cool place for it. Like, he wants to be in Jacksonville. We've talked about it. So there's a lot of elements here. And you said it, man. Like, just how I do think it's rare to be as comfortable as he is. Just being him.
Yeah, I mean,
man, I sound like I just stole that from Gladstone. But,
no, for sure.
You know, not everybody. Like, okay, you are. Like,
you saw it with Gardner Minshew.
You get to a point. Like, I'm not sure I was as comfortable saying what I say in front of a microphone or whatever else 20 years ago at 22 years old coming out. In fact, I know for sure I wasn't. So you get to a point where you're like, hey, there's no difference between me talking today at Starbucks at a meeting or this in front of a microphone. It's just no different. Mm-hmm. But for him, like, he's already there. He's just joy for life.
Yeah.
I know I'm good. Mm-hmm. And point the cameras at me. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
pretty unique at that age.
It's unique at that age. It's unique from his skill set. I mean, yeah, it's all unique. But I will say this. I think you look at all athletes now that are kind of bona fide I'm not gonna call them a bona fide superstar yet. Like, let's earn it on the field first. That have all the hype. I mean, whether it's Skeens, whether I'm trying to think of like up and coming athletes as well. I mean, John Morant's not a good example, but like usually when you have
from a playing standpoint, he has been.
No, for sure. But I'm saying how you handle yourself though. I just think players these days, young athletes, are so much more self-aware, having grown up in a social media era where they know how to talk in front of the cameras. They know how to build their brand. They know how to be, I think, self-aware. For the most part, there's always outliers out there. There's always guys that try to go about themselves, but I think now more than ever, like, whatever, 10, 15 years ago, would we have seen a Gardner Minshew? You know, like, would we have seen a Gardner Minshew 20 years ago in the NFL, like, doing the crazy stuff that he's doing, and would it be, like, celebrated like it was? I don't know. I have a hard time believing how many NFL locker rooms would have tolerated a Gardner Minshew on their team. But now it's celebrated. Now it's like we look to that, and that's the way it should be.
All right, hey, let's get to more on that, by the way, in a bit. And I like where you were going with that. Start thinking of, when's the last time, like, a big-name guy, that can't-miss guy? Like, do we have a high success rate? Because he's a can't-miss guy, it looks like. High success rate. Let's bring in Jared Garcia right now as he joins us on the Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. And on behalf of the Advocates Professional Golf Association, which is in tour, which is the APGA Tour, which stops in Jacksonville as well. And he's got a big qualifier for the U.S. Open coming up here on Monday. Jared, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Good.
Great, it's
that time of year, huh? U.S. Open qualifying time, and you made it to this stage. How you feeling about the game?
We'll see on Monday, but I shot 65 yesterday. I've been teaching a lot more recently, so been focusing on that, but I've been practicing this week, so we'll see what happens come Monday.
All right, let me make sure I got the resume right. You're teaching at Fleming Island, right? You're an instructor over there?
Yeah, I got the director of instruction gig about a little over a month ago, so I've been pretty busy out here, but I have found some time this week to hit some golf balls.
Good.
Yeah, it does get in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But maybe I'll learn a thing or two out there teaching somebody.
And you went to Bishop Snyder, obviously a Jacksonville guy. Is this just part of the natural progression for you from playing as a kid to playing in high school to now getting a job locally? I mean, and now where you're at with an opportunity that a lot of golfers would love to make it to this next stage of U.S. Open qualifying.
Well, yeah, everybody growing up, you have a dream of playing professional golf, right? And went down that route. Still kind of playing some tournaments here and there, but those guys are really good out there. But come Monday, you got a chance to go to the U.S. Open. I've made it through this first part, I think 3 or 4 times, but never made it through to the U.S. Open. So we'll see what happens on Monday.
Jared, let me ask you this. I mean, have you taken anything away from those first few times of that U.S. Open qualifying? You know, like just in terms of experience and everything, do you use something that you're going to try to use for this up-and-coming experience?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't have to do anything crazy this first qualifying. I think last year at Marsh Creek, I didn't do it there, but I believe like even par might have made it through. It's kind of a goofy little golf course.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if y'all played it.
Yes, I have. Fun one.
A little bit more of a target practice kind of golf course off the tee. You don't really hit too many drivers. So depending on the wind and stuff, it could get pretty windy out there, but you don't have to do anything crazy out there this first round. Maybe when you get to the second stage, when you're playing against guys that are on tour still, might have to do a little bit.
So Monday's
a bit more crazy out there.
So Monday's at Marsh Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so if you get past this round, and this is how it works with the U.S. Open qualifying, this one makes the U.S. Open really cool, that if you got the handicap and you got the will to try, you can try to get through these stages. Some people get exempt. Obviously, some of the pro guys all the way to the U.S. Open have earned their way in that way. But this is a different way for an amateur golfer or a pro golfer to be able to get in if you're good enough. So if you get by this one, the next one's on June 2nd, kind of a couple weeks right before the Open?
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact date, but it's a Monday, probably in like 2 or 3 weeks probably, and then you play 36 holes that day. And there's probably, 8 sites total for the sectional qualifying. And so they'll take like all the sites from all the states, and then y'all go to those 8 sites, and then you play from there.
So obviously you got the experience to do this. You've earned a Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity Information Assurance from Western Governors University. You got to educate us a little bit on that. I'm not sure I've heard of that, number one. And number two, like, why
So
you chose golf out of all that?
So originally, right, I went to school at UNF and then I got a biology degree. Was going to go to medical school, turned pro instead. I don't know if that was the right choice or not, but and then I was kind of going to look for like a career pivot and try to figure out what I was going to do. So I did some online IT classes. I felt like that was a good way to go. But right when I graduated from there, I got this offer at Fleming. I knew the owner here really well for probably 20 years. And I was like, man, I can't turn that down.
I was looking out there at Fleming Island, by the way. Charles and the group doing a great job with that golf course.
Yeah, so they were going to close down in June, but they decided to do the renovations next year. So they're doing a lot more work on the greens, working on the fringes a little bit, making the greens a little bit bigger, putting in some work, top dressing, verticutting, all that stuff. So it should be good to go here.
Awesome. Soon. So big renovation coming next year, though, in 26.
Yeah, it was planned from June to September of this year, but they just decided to change.
We got another note on, I don't know when your birthday is, but your first hole-in-one came on your birthday. Tell us about the day.
I skipped school. I was probably like 15 or 16, but I was with my dad, so it was known. But we were playing in like a charity tournament, and I happened to just make a hole-in-one. I think it was like a 5-iron from like 150 yards. Seems like that's a short way to hit a 5-iron now, but it was pretty cool. So I try to play golf for my birthday all the time now.
Nice.
That's pretty good stuff. Hey, what about the APGA Tour and what that's done? It's been around, I think, since 2010 now. How has that helped you and other golfers around really the country and given opportunities?
It's a chance to play some really good golf courses, and if you play well, it's a chance to make some pretty good money on a mini tour. So I played pretty well last year. I made quite a bit of money for a mini tour. It just gives you a chance to play, really test your game on championship level golf courses. And because playing these mini tours down south in Orlando and like Miami and Fort Lauderdale, you're playing golf courses that are like short and like municipal golf courses that don't really, you're hitting driver, wedge, putter. I mean, a lot of people are good doing that, right? So if we get out there on those tougher golf courses, you really get to see like where your game's at, whether it be, we played Valley, I think in February, and then we played TPC San Antonio where they just had the Valero, a couple weeks ago, I believe, right before the Masters. And then we're going down to Port St. Lucie here in like 2 weeks where they just had the Club Pro Championship. So all really good golf courses.
Yeah, APGAtour.org, by the way, to see more. It is cool. 18 tournaments, over $1 million in prizes, which is, again, is a lot of money for mini tours. Like, you don't usually have a chance to earn that kind of money and bonus money. At the player development program side of it, which is supposed to be all inclusive, right, for the game of golf and also aid young minority golfers as they try to chase professional golf a life like you have. Do you see it working as that? Are these programs really benefiting people across the country, not just here in Jacksonville where you're from?
Yeah, I mean, they do. So like most of the tournaments, they do like youth clinics to kind of inspire like the younger people. So that's probably where this is probably, I would think, a long game. Like, sure, they'll get a couple people on tour here and there, but this is kind of working towards the future and like inspiring these people, getting these kids playing golf growing up. Because I didn't play golf till I was like 15 or 16. I didn't even know what golf was, honestly. And but it is working currently. There's a couple guys on PGA Tour Americas. I played there for a couple years. It's been 5 or 6 years now, though. But there's a couple of guys doing well out there. There's a couple of guys that were on Korn Ferry last year. So it's definitely working. But I think it's more of a long game.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, before we let you go, Jared Garcia, good luck Monday. And by the way, we got some other local guys, too, trying to qualify and get through this stage and onto the other. So good luck to everybody out there doing that. Again, fun part of the U.S. Open coming up in the middle of June this year. What's the tip that you're giving people the most as you work at Fleming Island? Like, what's the golf tip? You
got to pay for that, Brent.
Is there a common thing? Like, nobody's asking you how to putt, right? I mean, they might, but that's not what they're trying to fix a slice. They're trying to fix. They want to draw it. They want to hit it further. Like, what are they fixing? Like, what's the number one problem the amateur golfer has?
95% of the people I give a lesson to are slicing it.
Yeah, why? Why is the slice so common?
The face is wide open. So if they can fix that face, then the body's just reacting to that face being wide open. So then it's coming across it, trying to hit it straight, in an attempt to hit it straight, and it works every now and then. But you got to fix that face for your body to be able to hit it more from the inside.
All right, one last one. On Monday, you said it. Marsh Creek can be a little bit of it's a different golf course. But are you a bomber? Are you better at your iron play? Is your short game good? Like, what's the strength of your game?
I hit it pretty well. I don't putt it very well. If I putted it a little bit better, I might be out there on the PGA Tour. But we don't putt it well, but we can hit it around. So I hope it gets a little windy.
All right. Austin, we got to talk him into it. You get speaking into existence. No, you do putt well, Jared.
Yeah, man. Well, man. Got to have that confidence about you, man. You got to make them all Monday, man. Yeah.
Don't admit, hey, like the one thing golfers, it's never your fault. You blame it on the caddy, blame it on the course. It's not your fault you missed the putt. Just go make the next one.
That's right.
All right, man. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out with us for a couple minutes.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, you can go see Jared Garcia at Fleming Island, and grew up Bishop Snyder, went to the University of North Florida, so UNF guy as well, and has a chance at Marsh Creek on Monday to advance into that next stage. By the way, everybody's like dream that like even plays a little bit of golf, that has a passion for golf.
Yeah.
Like mine was, I knew at like 20 years old or something that I wouldn't be able to, like I was never good enough to play or even try to do that. But then so you shift, you're like, hey, in 30 years, could I play at the U.S. Senior Open? Because you got to be 50. Mm-hmm. So it's like, do you think I could get my game in shape to be able to qualify? Because anybody could get through these stages and qualify for the U.S. Senior Open. Mm-hmm. The answer is I'm about to be 48 and no.
No, not going to happen. Yeah.
But you know what's kind of funny is Ty was playing recently, and I got a text. This was in like the last 2 weeks. And he mentioned something about, like, I think about the U.S. Open or the Senior Open or how old. And he's like, I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
It's like, it was probably the same age. We're both were like, now he's got a better chance.
Yeah.
But I'll let him live that dream. I'm not betting on it. Yeah. After living it, I'm not betting on it. But he was a much better player now than I was at 20. Okay. So I guess he's got a chance, but not really.
I'll bet on this.
Bet on this, baby. You know, we're really like, we love talking about the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. We did the lineup just going into the last break or coming out of it. And you see all the different things that we have. Like, it's not just the Brent and Austin show or Young and Norvell show. At actionsportshacks.com, we have all this different content, from soccer to golf to wrestling with Scrap House to high school baseball and softball to all the college football stadium pulse. Well, we try a new one on Sunday. We are going to show the final table of the Mission Run Good tournament that's going on right now at Best Bet Jacks. We think it will start around 8 o'clock. And so at actionsportshacks.com or Action News Shacks Now on your smart TV.
They got
or Action
somebody
News
doing
Jacks
play-by-play?
Oh, yeah, they'll have everything going on.
Get into that.
They do. Yeah, you should try to get into it.
I need to.
You know, we still haven't lived up to this yet, but we're going to get you into a poker tournament and see how that goes.
Let's go, Hamby.
Like, we got to do that. Don't let me forget. I'm a man of my word, eventually. But anyway, this could
I'll
go deep
pro
into...
by 50.
This could go deep... You can do it quicker. This could go deep into the night on actionsportshacks.com, but our first foray into a final table with Best Bet, and you can go be a part of it, by the way, next couple of days at Best Bet Jackson. Don't forget, go watch a Derby. I might do that down at St. Augustine tomorrow. Watch it at Best Bet St. Augustine or Orange Park or Best Bet Jacks. Lay a little wager, have a little beverage, have some food, and watch the race. Good time to do it this weekend at Best Bet. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost, from Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Even better, to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, the team at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are hosting an open house May 1st. Learn about the array of procedures. There's also chances to win big prizes. Come look and feel your best with Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics today.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training, along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website, right here, etajax.org. Don't wait, apply today.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
We had a couple of locals go in the NFL draft a week ago, and on the right from Oakleaf High School and Miami, Jalen Rivers went in the 5th round, so congratulations to him. And on the left, out of Atlantic Coast High School, gosh, it seems like forever ago, he was at Atlantic Coast High School. And then Illinois, what a nice career at Illinois. In the 3rd round to the Denver Broncos, pick number 74 overall. It's Pat Bryant. So the Jags, by the way, were very interested in Pat Bryant. And, well, look who it is right now with that Denver Broncos hat on. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, current UFC fighter, Austen Lane. See, after your playing career, Pat, you get into the UFC. That's how this goes.
I got you, man.
Or radio. You just do a show with me.
Okay, so I don't know about all of the UFC, but I definitely do me a little podcast.
There we go.
Hey, how you doing? You're still here in Jacksonville. Obviously, don't have to report, it looks like, for another few days out to Denver, but this has been a week now almost. Well, actually, a week from today. Has everything sunk in? How you feeling about being the 3rd round draft pick of the Broncos?
I mean, when I first got the call, it was a pretty great experience. Obviously, my main focus was dream come true, but I got to the next level, and I felt like I still got a lot more work to do. So, just trying to stay focused, man, and just prepare myself as much as I can here in Jacksonville, so that when I get up to Denver, I can put on the show.
Pat, take us through that day, that you get drafted. I mean, are you watching your phone? Are you thinking, is your phone working or not? Because I remember, I was stressing, man. I mean, I didn't go to the 5th round, right? So I had to wait a little bit. Was it stress? Was it more of just a chilled environment? How did that go for you?
I mean, I had the whole family there, great vibes, man. Just honestly, just checking my phone every 30 seconds, just waiting on the call, man. And just, my agent kind of told me that I might go later, but my head coach told me that it's a possibility, that I could go day 2. So I was just sitting there just waiting on the call, man. And then I got the call. And it's crazy because our TV was a little behind. So I ended up getting the call and then seeing myself get drafted. I mean, seeing them call my name while I was on the phone. But, man, great experience, man. Family was excited. I was excited myself because, I wasn't really expected, to go that early. But, I knew what kind of player I was, man. My main focus was just, hey, I just need the opportunity, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. But just having that chance to have a coach like Sean Payton, just to take that risk with me and just him knowing that the value that I hold to, trade up and grab me that early was very special.
All right, who went the wildest in the celebration? Like, who was the loudest? Like, hey, calm down, I'm trying to talk to the Broncos.
I mean, just about everybody, because it's crazy. They asked me while I was on the phone, I was like, are you in a quiet place? I was like, kind of like. I'm with the family, everybody quiet now, but everybody bust out laughing. But once they called my name, just about everybody went crazy. So it was kind of equal. My mom shedded a couple of tears. I held back a few tears, man. But it's just pure excitement and joy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Just really cool to see. We love this part about it, Pat, to see the journeys of you guys, right? Covering you on the Friday Night Blitz at Atlantic Coast High School and to be able to now be here. And to be honest with you, we kind of lose track of you along the way. We try to show a highlight here or there from Illinois, but we don't get to see you on a weekly basis like we do back in the high school days. When you were playing at Atlantic Coast, be realistic about it. You're going to play in Illinois, but did you think the NFL was a real possibility?
I had dreams of it, man. Like I said, I just needed an opportunity. I knew I kind of played in the NFL. I just didn't know I get drafted. Like I said, I just needed the opportunity, just get my foot in the door, and I feel like I'll play a long time, in the league. But once I got to Illinois, kind of after my sophomore, junior year, I kind of saw the vision of me, one day playing in the NFL.
Pat, how does it feel, man? Because I'm from Wisconsin, so I grew up in the Big Ten and everything like that. And Illinois, when I was coming along, they weren't talked about at all in football, right? They're just kind of secondary and everything next to the Wisconsins, Ohio States, and everything. But you're part of really some teams now that have kind of put Illinois back on the map a little bit. Like, how does that feel to kind of make Illinois football, relevant again?
I mean, very special, man. Like I came in with a mindset, hey, I'm gonna come in, with the recruiting class that I came in with. We're gonna come in and try to help turn the program around, man. My main focus was to come in, Illinois really known for great wide receivers, so I was just, I wanted to leave an impact, man, and just leave my name set in stone, break records, set records, whatever I had to do, just help that program turn around, man. I feel like I did a great job of that. Just being voted captain my senior year really would help me, you know what I'm saying, excel, you know what I'm saying, step up as that leader and the guy that really take that role, you know what I'm saying, to lead that impact. Ended up going 10-3, so I feel like I did a great job of that.
And Pat, when we talk about your impact, man, I mean, I've seen a couple of your games, and one thing's for sure, whether it's on the sideline, whether it's down the field, like, you don't drop the ball. What is the biggest attribute to that? Is that just practice? Is that just natural hands? Like, how is it that you cannot drop a football?
I mean, I feel like it's a mix of both, you know, just having that hand-eye coordination, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you know, hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. So at the end of the day, I still got to get my catches in on the job before and after practice. Still got to catch with my quarterback, get timing down. So it's really a mix of both. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, God gave me a great gift to be able to catch the ball naturally. And then it's up to me just put that extra work in to make things easier.
Hey, don't change a thing, by the way. I know the videos may be going a little bit digitized, but your audio sounds great, so we're good. And so you're all good. Sometimes that just depends on the service. Hey, who do you stay closest to from Jacksonville all these years? You played under Mike Montemayor. Is there somebody from Atlantic Coast? Is there a buddy that you've always come back and worked with? Who are the local ties here for you that have really helped you get to this stage, or are you just kind of, that's your connection to home outside of family?
That's a great question. I'll probably say Coach Lundy. He's actually a coach at DuPont Middle School. You know what I'm saying? A guy that brought me over, you know, to the South Side, being from the North Side. You know, helped me grow, became my mentor, helped me grow as a young man, always stayed in contact with me. And then, you know, when I come back, I always go to DuPont and talk to the kids, chop it up with him a little bit. So really him. And then I got a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying, Pop Warner coaches. I actually went to Ocean Way when I first got here, did a little get together for the kids over there. So, I mean, once I come back to Jack, I feel like I'm pretty connected with the whole community.
That's awesome. And by the way, do you now, I don't know if you felt that as much when you were at AC or if even at Illinois, but now that you're going to make it to the NFL, man, do you feel a little bit more responsibility of that in Duval Pat, as your social media handle is? I mean, do you feel some responsibility of, taking care of the kids, being a good role model for the kids and giving them something to look up to and coming out of Jacksonville and be able to make it to the league?
I mean, yeah, like I tell people in interviews all the time, they always ask me, like, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? Of course, I do it for my family, you know, the people that helped me get to where I am today. But I also, you know what I'm saying, do it for the community, showing the young kids of the community of Jacksonville that dreams come true and hard work pays off. So, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, Jacksonville a tough time right now, just a lot of the violence that's going on. I just want to be that role model for the kids to show them that, you know what I'm saying, it's more to life than what you see in Jacksonville. Like, you get out of Jacksonville, there's a lot more that you could do, a lot more that you could see. So just being that voice for the kids, man, and just coming back and showing them. Me and my pops actually want to start like a non-profit organization, kind of started in Jacksonville and just not only Jacksonville, but grow it, you know what I'm saying, across the world. So, man, I've always been big on, you know, giving back to the community because when I grew up, my pops was always in the community, always been an athletic director, always held football in camp. So always kind of had that soft heart, you know what I'm saying, to do those same things. And now that I got the voice and the face to do that, I feel like I'll take great advantage of it.
Pat, you know, you're going to go from Jacksonville now to Denver and play with one of the greatest offensive minds right now in football and head coach Sean Payton. And I'm sure you've heard this, but Sean Payton had some great words to say about you, even so much to go from the fact of you remind him of Mike Thomas. Oh, I'm sorry.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Mike Thomas. Yeah, Mike Thomas, who obviously in a Sean Payton offense, when he's healthy, you know, was one of the best wide receivers doing it. Do you think that's a fair comparison, number one? Does that add a little extra pressure to you? And I guess just in college and everything, like, who did you mold your game off of? Who did you watch a lot in college?
I mean, just hearing him, you know what I'm saying, make those comparisons. You know, Mike Thomas, great player, you know what I'm saying, did a lot of great things in the league. And just the success that he had in that offense and my ability, you know what I'm saying, to play one of those similar roles, I mean, very, very, very special. But just, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's up to me. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be pressure. So, I mean, I kind of take the pressure and just add it, you know what I'm saying, fuel to the fire, you know, just keep going and keep working.
Pat Bryant with us here on the Brent and Austen Show, the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Hey, the Jags were high on you, right? You had a lot of conversations with the Jags. Did you think there was a real chance that could come to fruition? We're going to have Mike Silver on here in just a little bit from The Athletic, and he was in the draft room and writes about it in his article this week that the Jags were really kind of disappointed when Denver took you because they were eyeing you. So how real was that from your perspective that you could end up playing in your hometown due to some of the conversations that you had?
I mean, very special. I knew it was a huge chance that the Jaguars would take me. Might have been a little bit later on in the later rounds. I'm pretty sure that's why. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton traded up just a little bit to grab me, but man, it would have been very nice, just to play in front of the home team, man, hometown, and then just having those conversations with them. They were very high on me, love the way I played, just like all the other teams. So at that point, it was just basically a race of, what I'm saying, who grabbed me first. So Sean Payton took the risk, and I'm gonna take full advantage of it.
I love that, by the way, that you're almost surprised where you went. So many players are often, I don't know about disappointed, but they got to wait longer. Because what I think is guys get told that they could be a first-round pick or a second-round pick, but the range could be second to fourth. And what you hear just as a human being, natural instinct is like, oh, I'm going to be a second-round pick. And that's where your mind goes. So I kind of love the fact that you were pleasantly surprised by it, which is kind of cool. Was there something else that stood out about the whole process? From once you graduated to interviews, I don't know how many visits you went on, all these kind of things. Like, is there something that's real memorable for you from the draft process prior to getting drafted?
I honestly say, man, just creating those relationships with guys, that's going through the same process. I spent a lot of time, during draft prep, draft combine prep, just creating relationships with guys that were there with me and just seeing them grow and all us, chase the same dream. And then, just watching those guys, get drafted, even when I got drafted, I still sat down the next day just to watch those same guys, watch their names come across the screen and them reach their dreams. So really just creating those relationships with those guys that I played against, guys, that I watched, guys that I kind of, added a couple things from their game to my game. Really just, just enjoying the time, enjoying the moment, and just creating those lifelong relationships.
Denver's a cool place, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's a really cool city. People love it out there in Colorado. It is Mile High for a reason, though. It's a great stadium, all these things. Is there any concern as a player going there? Like, okay, I'm going to have to work on my breathing or get me some oxygen, or how's this stuff going to work? Is there any curiosity in that part of it?
I heard about the altitude, but I mean, the day right after, because I kind of already knew about Denver. I had a teammate that transferred to Colorado. He was kind of telling me about it. So that same day, I went ahead. A couple days later, I went ahead and ordered me like a breathing mask. That helps improve your lung capacity and all that. So I kind of been training with that. But at the end of the day, man, you got to adapt to new environments. The same way I went up to Illinois when it was cold, I had to adapt to that. So I feel like, hey, that's what comes with football, man. You got to adapt to your environment, man, and make the best of your opportunity.
All right.
Pat, I'm going to tell you right now, man, if you can go through training camp in high school in Jacksonville with this humidity, you're going to be fine in Denver, man. Take it from me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, what's the next phase of this? So you go out there next week, I'm assuming. You got a rookie mini camp. Is there something else that you're looking forward to, or is it just like, hey, give me the playbook, let's go. It's time to get to work? I mean, how do you view this? Is there another milestone along the way? I guess sign your contract eventually, but that's usually a formality.
I mean, obviously, get up there, meet the guys, meet my teammates, meet the coaches, and then obviously, hop head first in that playbook. There was, I actually just got invited to like a rookie premiere. I heard it's like a big thing where all the rookies go to LA and then you do like a little event. So I'm looking forward to that, man, just to meet, some of the guys that got drafted this year that were in my draft class. So I mean, it's a lot of exciting things, man, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just ready to get back on that field.
That's awesome. Hey, here's the deal, too. Jags play at Denver this year, so we'll look forward to seeing you out there and saying hello when we get out there with the Jags to Denver, Colorado. Pat, appreciate you taking a few minutes, man. Good luck training here in town, and then good luck out there in Denver as well. Great to see you. Glad to do you doing well, and we're proud of you. And if you do start that foundation, let us know if we can help push it out and help the kids here in Jacksonville, too.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, man. That's Pat Bryant, Atlantic Coast High School to Illinois, now to the Denver Broncos. And by the way, joins some local products that have played for the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Tim Tebow did that, drafted in the first round. But don't forget about DeMarcus Walker out of Sandalwood. Had a nice career with the Denver Broncos, still playing in the league, and was someone that we thought, hey, how about a little edge help here in Jacksonville?
Yeah, for sure.
So, man, really cool to catch up with Pat Bryant, that whole process for him. I do like that part. You can be disappointed in the draft process so much. We hear about the disappointment from Shedeur Sanders, but the people that thought they were going to get drafted and didn't get drafted. Kind of neat to hear him talk about how surprised he was.
No, yeah.
That man, they really came up and got me.
Yeah, like I can't, and I guess that's kind of like the other side of it, right? Where if you're expected to go in the first, second round and you're falling, it's like, yeah, it's stressful, but like what a nice surprise to be like, all right, I might go fourth, fifth round, and here we have someone trading up to get you. And that's the thing too, is like when a team trades up to get you because they want you that bad, and obviously Sean Payton had great words to say about Pat, like that goes to show you, man, like I said, Brent, players want to feel appreciated. And I think Pat Bryant, man, you should definitely feel appreciated because Denver needs you and they want you.
What does it say to you that the Denver Broncos ended up getting at number 60, R.J. Harvey out of UCF, and at number 74, Pat Bryant, obviously out of Illinois and Jacksonville, two players that, like, we know this. The Jags coveted both. Like, the Jags coveted both players. I just find that interesting. Are they thinking the same way? Is their offense going to operate kind of the same way? Does Liam Cohen have some things in common with Sean Payton? Are they? I just wonder if there's some kind of parallel there that they seriously got two guys that the Jags were like going to potentially take somewhere in the third and fourth round, and the Broncos scooped them up.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, on the Broncos side, to get Pat, I mean, Cortland Sutton, we'll see what happens with him, right? I guess there was some rumors that they might be trading him away or something like that. So one could say, with Pat's style of play, his size and everything, I mean, he's Cortland Sutton 2.0, right? So maybe that was the plan for Sean Payton in Denver. Is like, okay, well, if something happens with Cortland, we have Pat right here to get ready to take over.
Yeah, it could be. Well, good luck to Pat Bryant. Really cool. I'll sit here and tell you this. I watch him on Friday nights. We had him plenty on the Friday Night Blitz. And I don't really watch a game usually and be like, hey, this guy's going to make it to the NFL. I mean, you just don't know. You kind of lose that perspective. Mm-hmm. Now, Derrick Henry, you're like, this guy might be making the NFL. He looks big enough to play in it right now. Yeah. Like, there are some, but I just love, and I don't say that with any criticism. I say that actually with admiration because I love the growth. Mm-hmm. That journey and the growth, and to be able to be like, man, you just keep grinding, keep working, keep producing. And you mentioned it too at Illinois. It's not like it's a factory of receivers and explosive offenses. And he was able to really put on good tape. And Sneaky could have, it wouldn't surprise me to be like, this guy has a great career in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They see something.
Of course.
Where it's like, hey, this can really work. So good luck to Pat Bryant. I finish up a conversation from a little bit ago. You had mentioned Ja Morant, and you mentioned somebody else. I forget who, but when I'm talking about Travis Hunter, and you think about these almost can't-miss talents.
Sure.
Really, you can go to the baseball world. Oh, you mentioned Paul Skeens. I think Bryce Harper was this most recently in the last 10, 15 years. Travis Hunter, to me, like, he's been a can't-miss guy. I mean, he's a five-star guy. They were right. Really good. Program changer. Well, he was at Jackson State. Program changer at Colorado. He's going to be a top pick. Heisman Trophy winner. He's all that stuff. He's checking all the boxes. So it feels like, and to be honest with you, that gives me the most comfort, that when somebody is that productive and good and lives up, you're like, okay, well, the next level, he's just going to keep doing what you're expected to do.
Sure.
Does it work out most of the time like that? Do you think? Like, do we have more examples? And I don't have the percentages in front of me, folks, so I'm just asking. Do you feel like it works more that you get the Skeens? Oh, dang, he is good. Or you get the Bryce Harpers. He is good. Or Ja Morant, again, different from a personality standpoint, but from a playing standpoint, he definitely belongs. He's had some problems. Then it does say a Zion Williamson, where it's like, oh, this is supposed to be a home run, and for various reasons, it just has not been. Injury certainly will play a factor in anybody's career to that degree, but sometimes people don't live up to the hype.
Sure,
that's just the reality of it.
Yep.
Do you feel like when you're looked at the way a Travis Hunter is looked at and the other guys that we mentioned, it's been working out more than it's been failing?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we don't have the numbers in front of us. I think of like Zion Williamson, people are going to say it didn't work out. I don't know, man. The thing with Travis Hunter that's so different, though, is like, okay, you can see Paul Skeens, and by the way, Paul Skeens isn't doing the best this year, not for the lack of his pitching, but he's getting zero help in terms of offense, where he's got a couple losses this year already. I think with Hunter is we haven't really seen a guy like this, so we don't know how to handle it. Right? Like with Skins, he's a good pitcher. Yeah, all right, go out there, check people out. Cool. With Travis Hunter, I think we're all expecting, okay, you got to go out there and be a Pro Bowler on offense and defense right away. I think it's going to work out because, once again, we talked about the attitude. We talked about him being humble. We talked about his mindset. Like, he loves football. He's a fun-loving guy, and I think when you're comfortable of knowing exactly who you are, you don't get caught up in the criticisms. You don't get caught up in all that extra stuff that could take away from your game. So, yeah, I think he's going to be okay.
Well, we're not the only ones that think he's going to be okay. This week, Tony Dungy, Super Bowl winning coach, was in town. And Eric Armstead was also at this event. Kyle Brady, former Jags player, at this event. And Action Sports Jacks was able to catch up with all three. Yeah, Hamby, if we got all of them. Okay, in a minute, we'll hear from them on Travis Hunter. And it was interesting to hear their perspective. And obviously, right now, everybody's in love with this. But again, Dungy's a guy who's lived it in the front office. Listen to what he and others had to say about the drafting of Travis Hunter here in Jacksonville.
I have to ask you because obviously it's after the draft, and the Jags went crazy with their draft pick in Travis Hunter. What was your overall reaction to the Jags trading up to get him and giving up all those draft picks?
I liked it because I worked in Indianapolis with Bill Polian, who built 3 different teams into NFL champions. And basically one thing he told me when I first got there, he said, when you get the chance to draft special, you have to take advantage of it. And the Jaguars did that. They saw a special talent, and they said, we're going to go get it. And special wins for you. So I'm proud of them, and I think it's going to pay off.
What was going through your mind when you were like, oh, my gosh, the Jags are really doing this?
Yeah, I was in the green room with the commissioner and the Packers players who did the opening, and Lil Wayne was back there too in the green room. So I was just chilling, and we had the 5th pick, so I was like, I got a little time before, and they came in and was like, hey, you're up. There's been a trade, and as soon as they said that there had been a trade and that we were on the clock, I knew instantly who we were drafting. And you only move up in a draft to draft the best player, and that's Travis Hunter, and he's going to be a dynamic game changer for our team, and really excited to have him.
Did you get to talk to him at all during the process?
Yeah, I got to talk to him after, and he was really excited, and just want to welcome him to Jacksonville and try to help him with anything that he needs. And he's a great young man and super talented on the field, but also a great person, and you can tell that, and you can see that just by being around him a little bit.
Yeah, and James Gladsone said it in his opening presser introducing Travis Hunter, how he's not just changing the trajectory of position, but of the game. He even says, I can't wait to get my playbooks, right? Playbooks. And it's wild to see that this kid could change the game if this works.
He certainly could. And I mean, it's hard enough to succeed, having had as much time in the NFL as I did, over a decade. It's hard enough to succeed and be good at just one position, on one side of the field, because the guys across the line from you, they're also professionals, and they're also really good, and they're also working really hard to be the best they possibly can be. But to try to have success at 2 positions on both sides of the ball, I mean, it's one thing to be a specialist and maybe also an offensive contributor, but it's different from actually playing a position on both sides. So I'm very intrigued to see how that experiment might go at this level, and I think they're going to probably wean him into it, probably have him specialize, I would think anyway, on the offensive side of the ball, and work him into maybe some nickel packages or something of that nature. But if he can handle it, the more he can handle, the more they're going to put on his plate. So it'll be exciting to watch.
Is that you in the background playing the sax?
Man! Got some saxophone going on in that back.
That was good,
Saxo Rose in the background.
Part of the Elevate Jacksonville night on Tuesday. Forward Together night, and Tony Dungy and Justin Dungy there as part of it. Obviously, Kyle Brady, Eric Armstead too. So Olivia Tassley, nice job getting those guys. And maybe hear from them again a little bit later on the new regime in Jacksonville, but their thoughts on Travis Hunter. And really, you go back to what Tony Dungy said. I thought it was pretty interesting. You get a chance to draft special, you draft special. And he used the phrase, like, I'm proud of Jacksonville for doing that. Like, it's kind of an interesting way to phrase it, right? Like, you got to have some guts to do it.
Sure.
But they had the guts to do it, and here we are. And it makes sense. If you can draft special, go get it.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. That's what it's all about.
Special wins is what he says. And you think about it, like, You do have to have some sort of special along the way to win from every team. I mean, you're not going to find too many winning teams that don't have something special about it.
It's got to be special, and I think outside the box.
Yeah, plenty of that here in Jacksonville now with Travis Hunter. Again, we'll hear from those guys a little bit more, maybe on the new regime before the end of the show today. Mike Silver from The Athletic, who was in the draft room with the Jacksonville Jaguars for a few days, is going to join us coming up here in just a few minutes. Jacksonville Sharks Talk coming up at 12:45 as well. Casey will be in, and we're not breaking down the Derby, by the way. We're getting behind the names of the Derby horses, plus throwing a little wager or two out there on this Friday on the Brent and Austin Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. So let's take a time out. Mike Silver on the other side of this break, and we'll keep talking about this Jags draft from his perspective, which was a very cool perspective. If you missed the article, we'll highlight some of the things, and you can always read it at The Athletic. Mike Silver joins us next.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I'm ready to show my hand, ready to take a stand. Wait on a sign above, and I am ready, ready. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game.
Action Sports Jacks is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School. Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Well, there's a look, Mike Silver's view of the draft process for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he wrote about it in The Athletic this week. Fascinating article. I feel like Mike did this years ago in Jacksonville, but I might have been wrong. We'll have to ask him. Maybe he's done it around the league, and maybe that's what I was thinking. But just cool perspective. We talked about this a little bit yesterday to be able to get in there. And I think a lot of, what's going on here in Jacksonville, I think this exemplified kind of the right time to do something like this, because we talk all the time, Austin, about the transparency of this organization right now. It's just so much better. The communication, you talk about Liam Cohen and you talk about James Gladsone. We hear elite communication. They're very good at that part of it that trickles down the building. We think Tony Baselli's doing a nice job right now in the early stages. Again, these are early stages, but that's what we've got to deal with. And so this feels like a refresh in Jacksonville. It feels like they are aligning some of the things that have been out of alignment here in Jacksonville for quite some time. And I think that's some of the perspective that we've had, but a bit reinforced in the article that Mike wrote in The Athletic through this draft process, which is kind of cool to see it through a different lens.
Yeah, it's really cool because, while they have been really transparent of what the process has been like, I feel like whether it was going after to try to get Travis Hunter, like we had no idea that was going down. So while they are transparent, I felt like through this whole draft process, they weren't. They were asking us what they should do.
They did.
Right.
We told them.
We told them. Yeah, we told them.
They listened.
Yeah.
And Mike Silver joins us right now out on the West Coast. We appreciate him getting up early with us and sporting that Cal Bears hat as well, a proud alum. Mike, appreciate you taking a few minutes. Good Friday morning, and there's been some buzz about this article that you wrote this week.
Well, this just shows that I have bedhead, first of all. So, I had to grab a hat. That's cool that you guys executed that Travis Hunter trade. Good advice. That worked out well. I was really excited about this story because A, the access was amazing, and B, I just really have had this sense that something cool is going on in Jacksonville. You mentioned the alignment. Now, obviously, they haven't lost the game, and a lot of people talk about it, but I did get to kind of see it in action. It's really promising. So I was really pumped, but then when I realized what was actually going on, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. It's kind of the epicenter of draft activity, at least on the first night. That was really exciting.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of responses that people are like, Mike, you knew what was going on. That's why you ended up in Jacksonville. And I mean, I don't think that's the case, but it's kind of a funny reaction. Yeah, I would just claim it, man.
Well, it's funny because people say it with the certainty that, like, I could have had 32 teams let me in. Like I'm looking at a menu, like, it's very rare to get into a draft room. I've been fortunate enough to do it about 5 or 6 times. Peter King has done it, Dan Pompei, but not too many others. So first of all, I was just very excited to be in a draft room. But yeah, I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash, and that they weren't going to shy away. But more important, my journalistic instincts have been something's going on down there that people outside of your area may not be appreciating.
Yeah.
And and honestly, the Athletic, we have a lot of beat writers. We do not have someone covering the Jaguars regularly. So I felt like, wow, let's try to capture this.
Mike, you said it. You've been in a few draft rooms now, a few war rooms. What stood out to you more than anything about the Jaguars draft room that maybe stood out more than the other rooms that you've been in before?
Well, I've never seen a player's shirtless combine photo up on the screen for an hour before a potential pick, but that was man. RJ Harvey was one of the guys they thought about taking if they'd stayed at 70, and of course he ended up going off the board late second round at 60, so it became moot. But at one point they brought in Chad Morton, the running backs coach, and they were talking about it with him and Liam, and they were talking about some of his attributes. And I think Liam Cohen said, I mean, he's really jacked. Have you seen his combine photo? And somebody said, hey, put it up on the screen. And so sure enough, there's RJ Harvey looking yoked on the screen. And I think, I tried to be really, really quiet and just blend in. But I think I might have actually said when they put it up, wow, that looks like me, and gotten a couple laughs. But the best part was it stayed forever, until after Harvey went off the board. They're like, let's just take it down. And they did love Tootin, who they took in the fourth round, so it worked out fine. But it was pretty funny.
Yeah, Mike Silver with us from The Athletic. Spent some time in a lot of time in the Jags draft room last weekend. It's interesting that you go to RJ Harvey there, and that anecdote that you also include in the article, but they were going to take Ashton Genty if they didn't trade up and the trade didn't work out with Travis Hunter. And then RJ Harvey was on their board. Denver takes him. And then they had another option at that next level down with Tootin. Mike, we think they have some pretty good backs here in Jacksonville with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. We also thought they could elevate the room. It's pretty clear, though, that they wanted to elevate the room in some way, shape, or form, having those three guys pretty much on their radar. Did you get that sense all along that this is a part of a Liam Cohen offense that he can elevate even with a couple of good backs in the room already?
Yeah, I think with Genty, it was just simply a case of, look at our board. If we're at 5, we just think he's the best player. And even though we don't want to take a running back at 5, and as you said, we have 2 other guys we like, I think if they had stayed at 5, it would have just been like, we're just honoring our board. But yeah, they certainly wanted another one. With Harvey, the talk was, we don't love, his pass blocking hasn't rated real high, which, would have presented some issues. I think with the others, including Tootin, that wasn't the case. They obviously loved Harvey as a runner. But I would just say this, when a new regime takes over, they evaluate the current roster differently than the previous one did, and that all of us do. So we don't know their evaluation of their current roster, and I'm not saying that means those guys are going to be gone or they don't like those guys, but they may, the fact that Etienne was drafted where he was doesn't necessarily compute to how the guys coming in will look at it in a situation like this.
Mike, when we talk about Travis Hunter, obviously a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm around Jacksonville, and rightfully so, because this is going to be a guy that we've never really seen before probably play both ways on the field. They had some time in the first round after they selected him just to kind of sit and kind of maybe relax a little bit or talk shop. Were there conversations already between Liam Cohen, the defensive coordinator, Campanelli, of hey, here's how we want to use him, you get him for 20%, Liam Cohen, you get him for 80%. Were there any of those conversations, or was it more just kind of everyone celebrating?
No, they had all the conversations, before they knew this was going down. On April 7th, Andrew Berry and Liam Cohen basically said, we have a deal as long as the owners sign off and as long as Cam Ward's not sitting there at 2 for the Browns, which would have been unlikely. But in that case, the Browns were taking Cam Ward. They made it clear. Mm-hmm. So I think, yes, those conversations had taken place. First of all, I will say this. That's something I've never seen in a draft room. Both coordinators celebrating. Like, usually it's, I've been in enough draft rooms. Usually one coordinator's like, yeah, and the other
Yeah.
like,
you gonna help me out too, or what?
You better. The next one better be me. And in this case, like, they're both hugging each other. I'm like, wow, this is special. I did have a good talk with people about it, including Liam. I think they have a plan already, and it's a pliable plan. But I think there's a 3-in-1 kind of practice plan where he'd do 3 offense, 1 defense.
Okay.
There's a window in the meeting time where, since he won't play special teams, instead of that special teams meeting chunk where he can take that to meet on defense and then come a little late on the offensive side. So they're talking about that. And I think what they're going to start with is full-time receiver on offense and package on defense. So whatever that package is, whether it's red zone or 4-minute, I'd have to drill down a little bit as to what that is, or maybe it's just hey, we're going to put this personnel group in and it includes Hunter, but not asking him to do as much schematically as he eases in, but certainly open to expanding that. But it's funny, when I talked to James Gladstone about these permutations and he said, well, no, full-time offense to start, he kind of smiled and said, hey, do you know which side of the ball our head coach comes from? And,
Good call. Good call. Mike, the Travis Hunter is the star of the weekend, really, in the NFL. I think you could make the case. Around here, the next star is James Gladstone. I mean, he really has got everybody's attention. And we have, I can't say we deeply know him yet, but we're learning about him from the catchphrases to the introduction of Travis Hunter was, like I said on social media, going to church, man. It was like unbelievable. I didn't even need a teleprompter there and didn't mess up a word. Our take has been like, feels different. Not just because he's 34 years old and not 60 years old, Trent Baalke or other older execs around the league. And quite frankly, the GM position is not an old position by nature. It's usually someone in their 40s now or heading on to 50. But he talks different. The whole regime feels different than it's felt in Jacksonville. He feels he's really smart. I think we can all identify people that are really smart. And I don't think smart wins football games necessarily. But I was just curious to get your take, who bounce around other teams in the NFL. You know a lot of folks. What's the level of intelligence working here in Jacksonville right now? What do you get from that? And how much could that help this team turn the corner?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a very smart person, and they have they definitely have a unique approach, which I think is cool. So we don't know how good these players are going to be, although I think probably we can surmise that Hunter's pretty good. Even someone like me could see that. But I think process-wise, they really attacked it. They got guys they wanted. They have this metric, Jaguars DNA, that I wrote about. By that metric, they got the highest score of any team, as they should in theory. But they're doing what they set out to do. They're definitely not afraid to be bold. James Gladstone is not afraid to be bold. He's not afraid to throw himself out there. He's obviously got swag, and this aligns with what Tony Baselli and I have talked about a lot since he took the job, or even since before he took the job, since he was kind of involving himself with Shad Khan in this coaching search, and I've subsequently talked to Liam Cohen about it as well. And that's, this whole same old Jags, we're not doing that. We're changing it. And a lot of people talk that way, but I think when Baselli says it to me, I really feel it in here, because I remember covering those teams and the audacity, and a lot of, younger people, even in Duval County, may not understand. Like, they were an expansion team. Tony Baselli was the second pick of the 95 draft. They were supposed to be dead meat. And, they struggled that first year, but they kind of had an edge to them. And that second year, they went into Denver in the playoffs, beat the top seeded Broncos, beat them badly. That was a Broncos team that won the next 2 Super Bowls with Mike Shanahan and John Elway and Terrell Davis. They roughed them up. They were in the AFC Championship game in year 2. They hosted it in year 5 with the Titans coming in and upsetting them, but in a loud, jam-packed stadium that was the epicenter of the NFL universe. So there's nothing shy about the early incarnation Jaguars. And so when Tony Baselli looks me in the eye, and he's like, "Yeah, we're done with this whole meek, like we're coming to take people's lunch money, essentially." I feel that. And so if Tony has excitement about James Gladstone and Liam Cohen, I feel excitement. And then watching them work and seeing the alignment, granted they have not lost the game together yet, but seeing the alignment, seeing Tony Baselli give up his draft crush, an LSU tackle who went 2 spots later because the consensus was we're taking Wyatt Milam in '89. Seeing James Gladstone really solicit Liam's visceral opinions before a pick and really want to feel that. I really felt like it was a cool, different thing going on, which was what attracted me to the story in the first place.
Mike, it's my favorite part of the article about the Baselli anecdote in there about and falling in love with it, but them not going with it. And just to give you a little quick background, I wrote an article too.
Dude can't resist, Mike.
We pumped this article.
We've been on the article tour now for the past 3 years trying to pump this thing.
Yeah.
Hey, writing is hard, man.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
writing is hard.
It probably won't make it to The Athletic, okay? It's not that kind of resume material. But anyway, we wrote it back in like November, or when the Jags were struggling, obviously, and said they need Baselli. And my comparison was they need Baselli like the Detroit Lions needed Chris Spielman. But part of that was to protect the organization, know what's right about the organization, bring back the moments that you just talked about. But I also didn't think that Tony needed to be making every move in the building, like not the autonomy and the power that Coughlin maybe had in 2017. And when I read that part, I was like, that's cool, because I think that's what Tony's doing a great job of right now. When to step in, when to get out of the way. And that's a tough balance. But when you shared that part of the article, it really screamed to me like he's doing a good job. Either that or he was just hungry and wanted to go back to the buffet line.
Everyone's like, "Oh man, he snacks so much," but I don't know if people have noticed, but he's like 190 pounds. Like,
I weigh more than him.
Yeah.
I know, it's insane. I mean, listen, I think you were right on it. And Urban Meyer, let's face it, it's one of the all-time debacles in the history of pro football, right? It was, he kicked a kicker. I mean, you guys don't have to be told, but there's a difference between that swag, what have you ever won? Like he came in, with a disdain almost for how hard it is to win in the NFL and to build something and make it big and sustainable. Like he almost was kind of like, wait, who's that guy on the Rams? Aaron Donald? Whatever, like, these guys have swag,
forgot about that.
It's founded on an appreciation for how hard this is. Like, I don't think James Gladstone was coming in going like, I'm going to ace this draft. Look at me. I'm the hot new guy. I think he was like, I've seen it at a high level with the Rams. Like, it's hard. Like, we got Puka Nacua in the 5th round. Like, it's hard to do. And, let's honor the, how hard this is. Try to really, really be on it. And combine that with not be afraid to go with our conviction. And then I think the thing you alluded to is he's very good at communicating that and conveying that in a way that hopefully has the fans fired up. It's not going to win any games to have a GM who's good on the podium, but it does. I do think there's a branding and a galvanizing that can be worth something in the end. And best of all, I just think that building, it's not quite the Prague Spring for you really old people like me, but it feels very, it feels a lot like, it's very refreshing inside the Miller Electric Center, which, by the way, I had not visited. That tells you all you need to know about how the Jags have been. I had not even been in the building. I was like, wait, don't I just walk into the stadium by that big Jaguar?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I had been to Daly's. I saw Counting Crows play there.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Very
Hey,
cool.
Mike, we're
Very
growing
cool
up, man. You got a Four Seasons across the street. I mean, don't worry. The draft will be here soon in about 5 or 6 years.
The Four Seasons when I needed it, man. I had one night at the Hyatt with a old biker convention, and then I
that's a
went
boring
across the river. And listen, man, I wasn't in my room that much. It worked out fine.
Fair enough. Mike, you have the opportunity to put to bed now one of the biggest conspiracy theories going around Jaguars fan bases, all right? And this started with me about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I shut the blinds. I went into full conspiracy mode. I had the paintings and the papers on the wall, and I'm trying to break things down. The phrase is intangibly rich, a phrase that James Gladsone uses all the time. I think it's about production. Brent thinks it's about just, intelligence and IQ. You were in that room for a while. Did the phrase intangibly rich come up? And if it did, for the love of God, Mike Silver, please put this to bed so we can stop debating it. What does intangibly rich mean?
Wow, I wish I had drilled down harder now if I knew that it was gonna I will in the story. One instance is Tony Baselli and I were talking about those Jags teams, that I alluded to in the mid to late '90s that came in and he was making the point. I think like we weren't the most talented team, and then he said, "But we were." To use a word James likes, intangibly rich. So he was having fun with it. But I think Tony's view of the word, if you put it in that context, was we were tough, tough people who had competitiveness and a willingness to fight through things and exceeded the sum of our parts. So it felt to me less like on-field production and talent and more like, that whatever's inside you.
The grit.
Makes you. Yeah, the grit.
You sure you wanted that answer?
Oh, dude, I'm still staying by my answer, too. Because I think if you're gritty, you're going to be productive.
Ah, very good. Very good.
You might not be wrong. I actually can't say definitively. When you said conspiracy theory, I was like, whoa, what could be going on
Oh,
here?
no, we've been going back and forth of what intangibly rich truly means. Yeah.
They purposely installed Trent Baalke so that when they got rid of him, it would be more dramatic. I cannot. I will now, though. Next time I talk to Tony and James, try to get an actual, full definition of it for my
Appreciate
own
it. Don't say it was my idea, though, Mike. Just say this is your own research and everything. Don't mention my name.
You got it. I got you. But I might mention the article from November now.
Please,
somebody had this months beforehand.
Please do.
Or Sean is a big fan of however many clicks you got. Apparently, Sean was one of them.
Yeah, Sean read it, no doubt. Hey, Mike. Listen, we go until 1:00. I could keep you all day. Out of respect for your Friday, I don't want to do that. So let me play a little bit lightning round, if I could, with you. Did you leave anything out, which you probably left a lot out of the article, that you kind of wish you got in?
Well, I would start with what I sent the editors and what actually ran. They did cut a decent chunk, and it was the right decision, I think, in retrospect. First of all, it was like 8 billion words, and I used to write for Sports Illustrated and fit it perfectly onto those pages. But then the internet happened, and well, hey, all my words are precious. I think I'll just write 1 billion. And, I probably am not as tight as I should be. But what they cut, and it was the right decision, they got into the war room faster. But I had a big chunk of, what happened from basically Liam dropping out of the coaching search to the hiring of Gladstone, because I thought nationally that story was part of the story, and I wanted to bring everybody up to speed. So to you guys, it wasn't, super revelatory. Although I had some good stuff in there that I wish I could have kept. I would say this, like, Liam Cohen never said, "Hey, I don't want to come to work here because Trent Baalke's your GM." It wasn't so much like that, but there was a dinner that was at Three Forks, I believe it's called, the steakhouse.
Good place.
Just made me hungry, man.
Yeah.
That snack area was good, but man, the steakhouse sounded good. And so Liam, I think, told them on a Tuesday, and the news dropped Wednesday morning. Hey, I'm out. I'm staying in Tampa, and that was a whole weird thing. The pressure from Tampa, and Liam's going through this, and Tampa kind of pushing him into a corner that the rules don't dictate he should have to be in, and so. Shad then arrives at the decision on his own, not because Liam Cohen says, I need to do this. That never came up. But Shad's just kind of like, okay, I want a full reset. And he decides he's going to get rid of Trent. Well, there was supposed to be a dinner that night with Trent, Mark Lamping, the president, and Tony Baselli, who was at the time an advisor, and Shad. Ended up that Ethan Waugh replaced Trent Baalke at the dinner because Trent had been fired. And it was at that dinner that Shad Khan kind of takes control of the process and just goes, look, I want Liam in this final round. This is frustrating to me. He was so good on the Zoom. Let's see if there's a way that we can get him back in this search. And then Shad calls Liam directly. He comes to Ponte Vedra. I think they had him holed up. I don't think he came to the facility. And the rest is history. So, I did kind of want to lay that out, that it wasn't like, because I think Liam is getting a lot as a rookie head coach. It's like, oh, he spurned the Bucks. Well, that was kind of weird if you look at the rules to put on him. And then, Liam ousted Trent Baalke. That's not, now Liam may have enjoyed the opportunity to align with James Gladstone after a good GM search and all that, and it may work out better. But I think that's a lot to put on a rookie head coach. Like, he didn't fire Trent, Shad did. He didn't completely screw over the Bucks under the rules. He had a right to do the interview. So I thought it was more fair to him to lay that out.
Yeah, good perspective, by the way, for your national readers, but also a little perspective because everybody thinks it was Baalke, right?
Yeah,
it was like that was the move, and I think that's more perspective. I think that's what I've heard too. That hey, there's certainly an underbelly here of Baalke for a lot of people around the league.
And in fairness to Sean, I mean, I just take me, and I have no personal animosity toward Trent Baalke, but I have been among the many people in the media, certainly local media and fans, who have said, and also people around the league, GMs, coaches, all around the league, all for a long time had been saying, wow, that job is less attractive if you keep Trent Baalke there. He certainly has a stigma of not playing well with others. And certainly I found that in the building, there were a lot of people who were happy that he was gone. This sounds really harsh, but there were a lot of people who were pro change. And I think Shad at some point was like, I don't necessarily think that I need to get rid of Trent Baalke, but this thing exists and let's do it. And then the other part of that, the layer that didn't go in the story really, is that Ben Johnson, who was another very attractive candidate on paper, he had a good Zoom interview, but then the way that played out was basically like on the day after the Lions lost, it was like, okay, who's hiring him sight unseen?
Yeah.
Other than Zoom. And Shad was like, dude, I'm not committing $60 million or whatever and making that decision when we've never even met. I'll get on a plane and meet him right now. But and I think the Raiders were very similar. The Bears were like, yeah, man, whatever. In fact, we'll give you $65 million and whatever. So it was a very, there was a lot going on, and Ben was out, loved Liam. Trent was kind of hanging around. I think Shaw was just like, okay, fine, let's tear it down and see if we can build it back up.
Great stuff. The only other one I got really, I could ask you a lot about the business side of it, but maybe I'll do that off camera about even getting in the room, because I'm fascinated by that and the trust that goes into that as well, but also the transparency of this organization. I think it exemplifies. They allowed that, and they weren't afraid to share a lot of things in your article, and I'm not sure a lot of teams would be like, oh yeah, tell them we wanted R.J. Harvey, right? And that kind of stuff. Like, that's pretty good stuff. But the play call sheet is fascinating to me, the way he sets up his board. The idea of it, I haven't seen it, but the way he describes it, Gladstone I'm talking about here, and their whole metric system, was it as fascinating to you? Because even Liam Cohen's like, well, I've never seen this before, but I understand it. Like, he makes it real easy for me in the way he communicates it, but the way it looks and appears. Did that strike you at all? I'm just curious.
I didn't understand it per se, except for there were columns by position and it was top to bottom. So like, even I did go to Cal, so like, like I get, like, if it's higher up, I think they want it more. And I will say this, there was a big gap, for example, between Ashton Gelati, who was the other guy they were kind of targeting in that 70 range, who went 66, it turned out. So it was a moot point. But edge rusher from Louisville, and the next guy at that specific position, and they're more specific about edge and defensive end and linebacker. But at that position, the next guy down, it was a precipitous drop. Whereas with Harvey, Tootin was, say, close-ish. So, I did understand the top to bottom part of it at least, and that was helpful. And then as far as them, just this was something that. I don't take it for granted. The access is amazing. The trust is amazing. And, I always go into this kind of mindful that I don't want to leave a team. I don't want them to come away from this in a precarious position. Like, for example, let's say the Jaguars had dangled one of their current players in a trade, but then not traded him. And now he's still on their team. Like, I'm sensitive to that. That shouldn't be in an article that, I don't want to burn them if they've given me that access. I would write around that. Right?
Of course.
So,
of course.
So I kind of, that's kind of my pitch going in. Like, don't worry, I'm not looking to leave you with a bunch of drama. But you're right. They, I think the communication was amazing on both sides. But they were really, really cool about putting it out there. And, I think a draft is one of those things where, like, you want a lot of guys and you don't know exactly how it's going to go. And, I alluded to these draft crushes like Baselli had, but, Gladstone really had this draft crush on Caleb Ransaw, who they ended up getting at 88. But, sometimes you aren't going to get the guys that you thought you would get, or something else is just going to present itself. And in the end, it's not about, oh my God, we have to get my guy. It's let's come out of this process and try to be as good of a team as we can. So I thought that, they felt really good about free agency, what they did. It wasn't so much splash, but in terms of internally, they felt like they went out and got their guys. I think they felt like they really got guys in the draft. And let's face it, they got the best player in college football also, who could play both ways. And they have 2 extra 3s next year. So they don't have a 1, but they have the extra 3s. So they've got a little ammo. So I think all in all, they're feeling pretty good about it, and they should.
Yeah, good stuff. Mike Silver from The Athletic. I hope you didn't put bacon in before this interview. It's burnt by now.
Oh, God. See, now you said bacon. I was going to go work out, and I probably still should, but all I want to do is figure out a way to, like, get my wife to cook some bacon when she gets home from her worworkout.
Yeah, just save the bacon until after the workout.
You know what sucks? It's actually her birthday, so I think it's a tough pitch. Like, hi, honey. Birthday. You're the best. I was on the show and we talked about bacon. It sounds I think it's gonna be tough.
I think you're taking her out to breakfast then, if that's the case. But happy birthday to your wife.
She's the best, and she would prefer that I not embed myself for multiple days all the time, but she was pretty supportive about this one. So
hey, anything else you're working on coming up where we can read about it in The Athletic, or are you still quiet right now, or what?
Yes, I just haven't revealed it publicly yet. But
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some cool stuff. There's some cool stories out there that I think need to be explored a little bit. I'm kind of trying to like geographically not make it so far from Northern California, but I have a feeling I'll be getting on some airplanes soon.
Mike Silver from The Athletic. Thanks, man. Appreciate it all the time. Great perspective. Really enjoyed reading the article as well, and look forward to seeing you down the road.
Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, that is Mike Silver. Really cool stuff coming out of there with Mike and what he saw in the draft room. And one of the big takeaways, by the way, at least from I think we discussed the article a couple of days ago and also with Mike here, but the takeaway for me that we have discussed in the past and what he said about Shad Khan and the whole bulky thing and that sequence of events that he left out of this article, I do think, and I don't think people want me to say it like this or be like, oh, come on, Brent. I think it takes some guts sometimes for the owner who's a billionaire. It can be like, I know more than everybody else, and I made this decision, I'm sticking by it, to reverse the decision. Whether it's helped or not, do not get stuck in your way. And I always say this about Shad, is he's, I believe, a little bit more loyal by nature, right? I mean, look how long he's kept some coaches.
Sure.
But he's done this now twice in his time in Jacksonville that I thought very important. Now, did he get a nudge in both times? I would say yes. But these were critical times and moments. One was Urban Meyer, who, if the sum of the drama that did ensue, and maybe it was one particular drama the night prior to getting fired, but if the drama of some kind doesn't pursue, he probably keeps him another year. And what are we saying about Trevor Lawrence and company now?
Sure.
Right? So he pivoted after 15 games on Urban Meyer instead of getting stuck in saying, okay, we're going to figure this out, which I think would be what you'd want to try to do if you hired a guy for the amount of money that hired Urban Meyer and you put your neck out there for Urban Meyer. He pivoted. And then this time around, same way. He had obviously been behind Balky for a longer time than anybody else wanted. He had made his decision. We thought erroneously he had made his decision on that Monday when he fired Doug but didn't fire Trent. And 2 weeks later, he admitted it. And again, I'm not saying we should throw a parade for Shad for that. But I do think when you have someone in his position, it is easy to say, I got this. You guys don't. I made this decision. I'm standing by it. And again, whether he got nudged or not, those two decisions have helped change the course of this organization at times, and hopefully this one does in a big-time way.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just Shad Khan being the businessman that he is. You know, he didn't get to where he is becoming a billionaire because, you know, he wasn't versed into how to handle a company, right? So obviously he took a chance with Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer kind of saw himself out because Shad Khan really had no choice. With Trent Baalke, I think it was a situation where he trusted Trent Baalke. He gave him every ounce for him to try to, you know, prop himself up and have it work out, and it didn't. And I think eventually what makes a great CEO or an owner, whatever the case may be, is you have to look at the entire landscape, and you have to look at it and say, okay, you know, obviously I have my ego and I have my beliefs, and I kept him as long as I could, but the environment showing like it's not working out.
Yeah.
And he made the decision. Probably wasn't easy for him, but like that's what a good CEO does. That's what a good owner does.
Yeah, admit mistake is not always easy in anybody's life, especially at a high level, right? That you kind of want to stand by your decision more than admit it. Hamby, what's your takeaway from Mike Silver's conversation there?
I mean, it legitimately could have kept him till one, no problem.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
A lot of things, yeah, just to know the guys that they were interested in my head, and try to kind of create a pattern as much as possible. It's funny that he's talking about RJ Harvey as much as he was in the shirtless thing. I couldn't find a shirtless picture of NFL Combine. In case anybody searches the search history back here, you will see RJ Harvey shirtless. He was sleeveless, and I can pull that up in a second. But nonetheless, you feel like these guys, in a sense, they understand the gravity of every situation, but it's almost like they're having the fun that I would have with two buddies doing a fantasy football draft.
That's a good call, man. I like that.
Like, they understand how serious this is, but at the same time, it's casual to a certain extent.
Yeah, throwing the football around, that kind of stuff, right?
Like, contrast that to the Browns War Room, and I know that we kind of poked fun at their reaction when they picked Shador, and it kind of came out that was more or less their reaction to every pick, but it was just so serious, and so it felt like pins and needles, and you just get the very opposite, where everything's loose and fluid, and everything is everything is a conversation, right? Everything is where everybody can kind of bring their opinions to the table, and obviously not everybody can have equal weight. Gladstone says, as Mike Silver alluded to, that Ransaw was his dude. Like, that was his draft crush, so he was going to make it happen. Cool. Like, you're the GM. That's why everybody's been on board with Gladstone from the jump. But it is cool to see, okay, so Ransaw was Gladstone's guy. Milam was also Gladstone, Cohen, potentially other people.
Offensive line.
Maselli was on board.
Yeah.
But he had Emory Jones was his draft crush.
By the way, remember Milam, too, is 8 on that score metric. He was the highest guy, I think, or one of the highest guys probably outside of Travis Hunter.
Right. And you know, it makes sense why. Okay, so
is Tootin Cohen's guy?
I would have to
gotta believe, right? That's what kind of we said,
right? And to hear that, okay, Gelati, I think, what was the word that he used? I need to What did he say? A
precipitous drop.
Very good.
You want to spell that?
No thanks.
Please.
Oh
no. I mean,
do you want me to? Precipitous.
Austin, I'd love you to.
Oh no, I'm not going to spell it. I was saying Brent spell it.
Percipitous.
Ding.
Precipitous.
But to hear that they had Gelati there, so the edge was always in mind, even in the 3rd round, right? And they didn't take it into the 6th. But just that reinforcement that we're not going to reach for a player. And guess what? That's exactly what Gladstone said right after the first time he spoke to the media after day 2 and 3.
Yeah.
He was like, we had guys in mind.
Yeah.
But they fell, so we pivoted.
Yeah. I like, listen, I think what Mike did there and in his article as well is kind of reinforce a lot of the things that we've seen in the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. Again, we all say it. You heard Mike say it. They're 0-0. We get it. But how they're operating, we're learning. We're learning a little bit on the go. And I don't think you're going to like everything, by the way, from this group. But eventually, you will, we'll be critical of some things too. But right now, I just think they're off to a really nice start. And, you can't, it's better than being off to a bad start. Right? Like I always say in sports, like you can't have a great season if you're off to a bad start, most likely. Like you can have a great season if you're off to a good start, like Aaron Judge is off to. Yeah. So they're off to a really nice start, it seems like, on a lot of different levels. And it's going to be fun to watch. And that was a cool look. And I think they are not – the league is paranoid. I've covered the league for a while now. The league is paranoid about almost everything ridiculously. Ridiculous, some of the paranoia. This group is not. They're willing to share information. They're willing to say some things that I think other organizations wouldn't. Does that bite them somewhere down the road? Maybe an instance or two. But it's not like they're sitting here, we're reinventing the wheel. We're doing things differently, but we're not reinventing the wheel here, folks. This isn't top secret information, classified information. Like, everybody's kind of playing the same game.
Sure.
I appreciate them about them almost admitting that. And letting a guy like Mike Silver in there kind of showcases that too. It's an example of it. All right, hey, we're way behind on the break structure here, so let's do that, right? Brent and Austin Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. Great to have Pat Bryant on and also Mike Silver from The Athletic. Podcast goes up at 1:30 each and every day, so you can always listen back on that while you're working out this weekend, going for a walk, a run, in your car, whatever you're doing. Really good stuff from both of those guys. And we've got Daniel Griffiths' article to get to. We got Casey Kurtz to get to on the Kentucky Derby, a little betting as well. But what about Emmanuel Ogbah and the difference that he can make? That's still on the way. We take you until 1 o'clock here on a Friday. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good, and the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance, so when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost, from Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Even better, to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, the team at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are hosting an open house May 1st. Learn about the array of procedures. There's also chances to win big prizes. Come look and feel your best with Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics today.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at Recycling Simplified.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back here to the Brent and Austin Show. Busy show. Jared Garcia trying to qualify for the U.S. Open from Fleming Island. Actually went to Bishop Snyder earlier on in the show. Jacksonville Sharks coach Jason Gibson will join us at 12:45. And in the interim, we had Pat Bryant, third-round draft pick out of Atlantic Coast to the Denver Broncos, and just had Mike Silver on from The Athletic about his draft room experience with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Did you say give Casey a minute? Mm-hmm. Okay. You can just tell me. I didn't hear it. Sorry. Hey, well, let's get into this real quick before Casey. You just let me know when he's coming on, and we're going to talk a little horse racing. We're not really handicapping the Kentucky Derby, but where do these horse names come from?
Yeah.
This should be exciting. And we've had a fun week already with using the imagination, and we will use it once again. But before we do that, on actionsportsjacks.com right now, Daniel Griffiths writes about Emmanuel Ogbah and what he brings to the table for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can find it at actionsportsjacks.com. It's the That One Painter First Coast Paint the Player segment of our show. Check them out at thatonepainter.com/first-coast for all your painting needs. Beautiful time to do it here as we enter the month of May. Exterior, interior, all over Northeast Florida. Check them out at thatonepainter.com/first-coast. And what Daniel tries to get across here is the Jags in the last couple of years, we know this, Austin, their most prolific pass rusher outside of Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker had 3.5 sacks. Mm-hmm. You got to go back to Arden Key, where he really had an impact with those two guys. Can Emmanuel Ogbah be Arden Key from a few years ago?
Yeah, I think he absolutely can. You know, I mean, this is kind of the beautiful thing about Ogbah coming in here is you're on a 1-year deal, so it's a prove-it deal, number one. And number two, you're not really being asked to do a lot. We just need you on third downs and every once in a while in a rotation to provide some depth. You know, so it's a pretty good place to be in if you're Ogbah.
So 47.5 career sacks obviously is a good number. And what Daniel writes about, he said, hey, that would be third all-time for the Jacksonville Jaguars outside of Tony Brackens, Josh Hines-Allen, and then he would be on the list. Like if he played his career here in Jacksonville, third all-time.
Yeah.
And that says a little bit about what the Jaguars have had. Keep in mind Yannick Ngakoue and Calais Campbell not too far down that list as well. Trayvon Walker climbing the list rather quickly. But that's what you're bringing in here with Emmanuel Ogbah. So, listen, I think we know what it is. I think we like the signing. I haven't seen anybody that doesn't like it coming out of this draft, the way they did it, how they did it, addressed it right away. And here's what else I love. They didn't sit this and let it linger for months and be like, okay, they still don't have a pass rush, they don't have edge, still don't have depth. Nope. Put a stop to it right away. And I'm not even sure it's enough, Austin. I mean, hopefully they get some other folks, maybe not acquisition-wise, but hopefully they develop some of the guys they already have to add in 4 or 5 sacks. I think of the Kansas City Chiefs a few years back when they were either second or third in the league or maybe led the league in sacks. Chris Jones had like 16 that year. Mm-hmm. Nobody else had more than 6. Karlaftis had 6, and then they had a bunch of guys at 6, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 5, 4.5, 3, 3.5. Mm-hmm. The Jags could have 2 guys with Trayvon and Josh and then fill in the gap right there with a bunch of guys from 3 to 6 sacks would be great.
Yeah, it'd be great. You know, and this is a guy who has a lot of experience. I mean, he's played in 16 games last season and started 16 games last season.
Durable.
Provided 5 sacks. So, yeah, like once again, you just need you need more than what you've gotten in terms of depth, right? Because Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen can't do it themselves. And if it just so happens, like, hey, if you have like a NASCAR package, they call it, or a speed package, and maybe you bump down Trayvon Walker and you trust Ogbah enough to kind of play that other edge, I mean, that would be a great thing too as well. So we'll see. Because keep in mind, I think with this Campanelli defense, and we haven't seen it yet until we see it, but you're just going to rush 4. So you're going to have to get home with 4 guys. You're not going to be using a lot of blitzing, I don't think. It's going to be more of, you know, different coverages and keeping defenses or offenses guessing in the secondary. But up front, it's going to be meat and potatoes. So you got to rush 4, and hopefully Ogbah can help with that.
All right, that is Daniel Griffith's article today on ActionSportsShacks.com. You can watch the show each and every day there, read all the work of Daniel and other things going on in the sports world, ActionSportsShacks.com. That's our That One Painter First Coast Paint the Player here on a Friday on the Brent and Austin Show. Let's bring in Casey Kurtz right now as he joins us from the road, not in studio today. Yesterday he was on the road getting, he was chasing. He was what they call racking.
Whoa.
It was racking.
Whoa.
I'm not telling you where, who. Just giving an update. I really just want to know, did you get the guy, did you get whoever you were stalking?
Yeah.
We won't reveal who that is, but I'm glad you got him. Good. So it was a win. Win of a day.
Or
yesterday.
her. It could be a female after Brent. Don't narrow it down. Okay, well, now we're narrowing it down.
I would not have used the word stalking if that was the case.
Good call.
But
appreciate that, Brent.
Casey got a dub yesterday.
Good. Like
sounds
to see
like. Where are you at today? Like just not coming in?
Yeah, if you must know, I'm at a racetrack gas station just chilling.
I like it.
My man.
What do you get from the racetrack? Racetrack has some good stuff. You get the ice cream?
Yeah. No.
Pizza?
I'm a big racetrack guy, though. This specific racetrack, I don't know if you've been to one like this. They have like full-on chicken tenders and like wings and pizza. It's like a whole buffet in there. It's pretty wild.
Dude, their pie ain't bad.
Like
Pizza?
pizza?
Pizza, yeah.
Okay. Well, call it pizza. Don't just call it a pie, because then I'm thinking apple pie.
No, their pizza pie is pretty.
They have empanadas there as well. See?
Okay.
Yeah, I think they do.
And they have good sunflower seeds.
Racetrack cut the check, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, we've been to all of them.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, we mentioned all of them here on the show, I think.
We've had Wawa before. Yeah, we've been everywhere.
So, all right, Casey, what you got for us today, man? We got a little Kentucky Derby. Did you do your homework?
Hey.
Did you do some research?
I did. So here's the thing, fellas. This was a bit, if you're listening, and you're like, hey, Casey, some of your other bits have been good. And then you're like, I wonder how this one's going to be. I just want to let you guys know ahead of time, this bit was pushed on me. This was not a bit that I wanted to come up with. But, sometimes you just got to fall in line, good soldier type stuff. That's what I did. So I researched where the names of the horses in this Kentucky Derby came from. And I can tell you, I didn't crack a single smile. Not a chuckle. Not a, oh, wow.
Cutting carrying cross promo with the whole good soldier thing, by the way.
I mean, that's what I'm going for. This is rough. I think they should borderline potentially like make some new rules for naming the horses, because these people were just like, we should call it this for no reason.
Really?
Huh.
There's usually some good stories behind this stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's like 2 or maybe 3. So I'm going to skip around. Anyone that's named after another horse, we're not playing that game because
get that out of here.
And that's probably Citizen Bull, right? Probably comes from one of the a long lineage of papas. Is my guess is Citizen Bull.
Believe it or not, I wouldn't use that guess because Citizen Bull 20-1 odds actually is one named after something.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think you're going to get it, but it is named after a thing.
Okay. I was going to say it's named after like the movie Citizen Kane, and they're like from Chicago, so they called it Bull instead of Kane.
That would be definitely a guess. Brent, do you have anything better than the one you had originally?
I mean, I know Citizen Bank back home in Rhode Island, so I can't imagine it's a Rhode Island horse. I'm going to go with...
Bob Baffert is the trainer, by the way.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to go... Does this have something to do with someone who was... what do you call that when they do like the nationalization? Right? So,
what?
Yeah, like become an American citizen.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
And I don't know where the bull come from, so maybe like... there we go. Like the bull riding or running with the bulls. A Spanish national citizen now is a...
Citizen Bull.
Citizen Bull.
Okay.
I like that a lot. That's some good thought. That's some good theory. As it turns out, it's named after Citizen Bullhead watches because bro is so rich he likes to wear them.
Never heard of Citizen Bullhead watches.
I haven't either.
I guess then you start.
Named after a watch.
Is it a watch or is it a timepiece? Because eventually you get to a certain demographic, a certain price where you stop calling them watches. You got to call them timepieces.
Well, I will say this. That's a good call. I got all of my information here from Forbes, and they call it a watch. So I think they would call it a timepiece if it was a timepiece. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I'm seeing some in the 200 to 500 range.
That's it?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a watch.
Lids has them.
Lids has it. Let me go get a Citizen Bull watch from Lids
You can
right
get a
now.
Lids all silver piece for $300.
Really?
Cut the check, Lids.
That's wild. All right, where else are we going, Casey?
All right, another one that you would think would have a good story. How about Final Gambit? 30-1 odds. Any guesses?
I mean, deep down, I want to say the dude was an X-Men fan, but that's not going to be it. Final Gambit. I'm something with like he did a poker tournament and lost or something.
All right, I got one here.
What do you got?
Going deep. I think this is a chess lover, and it plays off Queen's Gambit. And so that's the spin on that whole thing, movie. But this the owner really liked chess or was a good chess player.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I will say when I first saw it, I was leaning X-Men.
Let's go.
It's not X-Men though, Austin. Sorry about that.
Dang.
Brent is the closest, if you will. Our guy Brad Cox, the trainer, just let everybody at his farm vote on a name. They came up with Final Gambit, but the reason they came up with that is because it's a move in Pokemon. Like if you actually play the game. So Brent, you are somewhat close because it is
he
a
though?
move in a strategy game.
Okay.
He's closer than you, X-Men.
Well, I don't know. X-Men, Pokemon, chess, Pokemon.
Well, I'm not getting a point for it.
Comparable.
I'm just closer.
Yeah.
All right, where else are we going?
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, like it's just not the best.
Can I call some out and ask? Like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you can do that if you want after this, but Admire Daytona.
That's what I was curious. Yeah, I was curious about this one.
30-1 odds on that one. A Japanese horse, so that might eliminate some theories you may have. But any guesses on Admire Daytona?
Go ahead, Brent.
Well, you
Go
totally.
first.
I mean, I was just thinking it was like someone related to a NASCAR owner or driver that had a piece of the horse somehow. But Japanese horse, huh? Interesting. I mean, you're well cultured, way more than me. Is there a Daytona significance to Japan?
No, I can't think of any. But like you think of Daytona, like you can think of the wheels, you can think of a car. So maybe this owner, even though there's no Japanese connection, but like maybe the owner had a really nice like vintage Daytona car with or like Daytona rims on it, and he admired it.
I'm gonna go with this. I'm going to go with went to Embry-Riddle down in Daytona.
Okay.
And met his wife.
Okay.
So he admires
Daytona.
Go ahead. What do we got?
All right. Well, so this one's actually is kind of interesting. So all of the horses in the stable for this like Japanese horse company, they're all Admire something. Like that, every horse is named Admire with something.
Okay.
And they chose Daytona, the Florida city, because of the racing pedigree in Daytona, even though not horse racing.
Interesting. Did you when you were coming across this, was there anything else that stood out, like Admire Kentucky? Like, was it like that or?
No, I don't know any of the other horse names. I just know they're all Admire.
Okay, Admire something.
Admire Tour de France. Admire Marathon.
All right, you got to give me journalism, man. Where'd it come from? Or we got to guess.
I guess.
I was going next journalism, 3-1 odds. The favorite. It does actually have something to do with. It's not just like a random. Like there is sort of kind of a journalism play here.
Okay.
I really have no idea about the background of this horse, so I'm thinking. I just feel like there's something to do with like whatever business these folks were in. There was a big article written about them. Maybe they made it to the New York Times or it was something like that.
Okay.
And like I don't think there's no journalistic person that owns a horse. I can't get to that. So I'm going to say like, yeah, they were featured in an article or something or a big series or whatever in print that made them fall in love with this.
Okay, see, I think it's the opposite. I think it's like the Led Zeppelin effect, where there was like a bad review or a bad article about whatever the trainer or the place where the horse comes from, and as kind of like a middle finger, they named their horse journalism to try to like, so like, hey, you guys want to hate, but look at where he is now. So it's kind of like one of those feel-good stories.
Interesting. Yeah, both interesting guesses.
Not even close.
I will tell you not even close. The owner, Aaron maybe Wellman, was trying to figure out how to name the horse, and he said, I'm going to go back to my roots because I was the sports editor of the high school newspaper. How about that?
And this is the favorite to win.
This is the favorite to win.
We are digging deep. So, okay.
This is the other part of this. So with that information, he wanted to name the horse with ism at the end. So he was trying to figure out how to get, like, he knew ism, he just didn't know anything before the ism, and landed on journal. I'm dead serious. That's what it says.
Okay.
Yeah, what else could you have put? I mean, I think
Capital.
there's plenty where capitalism. There you go. That would have been a decent one.
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck on ism.
That's wild. All right, where else are you taking us?
So I'll get this one. I'll let you guess. I got two more that I want you to guess. Burnham Square, 12-1 odds. So has a chance.
Burnham.
Any idea? Like Square, you could think maybe like.
I'm thinking of a town or something like Burnham Square. Somewhere.
I mean, this sounds like it's a place in London.
Yeah,
like something like that. So I feel like it's a foreign ownership group.
Okay.
And it's like after. Again, it really feels like something that I'm driving through London with the Jags and I see it. It's like, hey, there's Burnham Square.
Yeah.
And it's just got a couple of restaurants and things like that. That's pretty common over there.
Okay.
So
makes a lot of sense.
Some neighborhood somewhere in Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it's wherever. I kind of agree with that. I think it's the neighborhood like where they purchased the horse or like where the contract went down to get the horse.
Makes perfect sense, all of that. It is actually the daughter-in-law of the owner of the horse uses that quilting block pattern. So she makes quilts with
What is going on?
That's wild. So that's like a design of a quilt.
Like a design.
The design.
That's you name it. Like you name something. This is a Burnham Square, and this is an Austen Square.
This is unbelievable.
That's wild.
They need to regulate seriously. Like a part of this process going forward for the Derby, it has to be tell us your horse's name and how you got there. And if it doesn't match up, I don't care how fast the horse is. He's out. We'll see you.
We need some depth.
Thanks for coming.
I feel like you're gonna.
I like that idea.
Where are you going with us next? Last one.
Well, listen. Well, first off, I was going to let you go Grande, but I think it's exactly what you're thinking. Big
Scratched, by the way, too.
Like Taco Bell.
Scratched this
Deep
morning.
Dish Nacho Grande. No, okay.
Huh. Flying Mohawk is owned by Jason Worth, former baseball player, but it doesn't mean anything
cool.
that exciting.
Yeah, I knew he was into horse racing.
East Avenue, named after the street they have their barn on. East Avenue, real creative. Last one, though, Sandman. Odds 6-1. I think you guys can get this. I think one of you can get this, truly.
I think
the owner's a big Metallica fan.
That's what I was.
Nope, I got it. I think Mariano Rivera is partial owner.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's into horses.
I mean, it's also a graphic novel.
Hold on, one more.
Nope.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, who's Stadium Pulse? Who's is it Virginia Tech who's got Sandman?
Enter Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So could it be Virginia Tech alum?
Okay.
I gotta feel like it's Enter Sandman.
I mean, it's got to be Metallica. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think too. But then I'll go with the contrarian. I'll say it's got something to do with like the graphic novels that are on Netflix, but I don't think that's the case.
Yankees fan.
Just a Yankees fan. All right.
Mariano Rivera.
Just a Yankees fan. Mariano, not an owner, but bro is a big Mariano Rivera fan. And then you go to the Metallica part of it, and how about that?
Say no more.
Can I get one more? Can I get Sovereignty real quick?
Yeah.
The horse is all knowing or something?
Mm-hmm.
So it says sovereignty or was an employee idea. That's what I got.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I swear on everything. Go to the Forbes article. It
Oh,
literally
no, dude,
says
I believe
sovereignty
you.
was an employee idea. Period.
Oh no, I believe you. I'm laughing at the fact of like these are the horses of horses, right? Like it's the Super Bowl, and the names left.
By the way, hey, we should do the next time on this. If they're not as good, we should say why they should be named this, like render judgment, right? Like a guy that's been in prison or something.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? Came out and he's a big horse guy now.
I like that. Was on Mugshot Mondays and said, I'm going to clean my life up a little bit.
So, chunk of gold.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like we just say, okay, why? We
mean,
gotta come up with
Tiz-tastic's a little aggressive.
That's a good name. I feel like Tiz-tastic probably has some like horse-related.
Oh, I'm sure his dad was fantastic, and his mom was Tizzy Lizzy.
Tis the law.
Tis the law, yeah. See, Tis the law is a big horse. That's what I figured. Hey, anyway, that's a little disappointing. I mean, not your fault, Casey, by the way. Appreciate doing the research.
Thanks for the hard
Just a little disappointing on the Derby. 2 scratches, Rodriguez and Grande. All right, pick a winner, guys.
Brent, start out.
Oh, you want me to start out?
Oh, yeah, I feel like you got one already.
Okay, the rail is always hard. I'll give you guys a little bit of advice there. It's not impossible, but it's hard with Citizen Bull, so I rule him out. The longest of shots is only like 30-1. That's not bad. Like, this is a pretty open field. Journalism, the favorite, most likely, I don't think will win because I don't really think the favorites win a lot. So I'm going to go with the longer shot here. I'm going to take my odds. And I'm going to go with Final Gambit.
Oh, that was going to be mine.
At 30-1 to win the Derby. And I've done no research, just to let you know.
Yeah, now I got to think about it.
No, I haven't really. Not
Brent,
yet.
Of all the names, you picked mine.
So you want me to pick a different one?
No, you're fine, man. You're good.
You can pick that too. We'll both go with them.
Nah, you can't. That's no fun in that. Casey, you got anything?
Yeah, let me get Burnham Square just because I want that daughter-in-law lady to have to make a bunch of quilts that say like "we won" with her Burnham Square pattern.
My fingers hurt.
Give me sister or daughter-in-law with the Burnham Square, 12-1 odds.
I'll take Sandman because the ode to baseball and Metallica.
Oh, that's awful. Gotta root for the Yankees. I mean, really?
I can't really pronounce sovereignty that well, so I don't want to say that one. Luxor Cafe sounds. I need something that's going to roll off the tongue. Like, and now here comes who to win?
American Promise.
American Promise does sound good, doesn't it?
That does sound
good.
Yeah. Almost went with American Promise.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with American Promise.
All right.
Yep. Without getting political, please.
Yeah, that's what we...
Promises being kept. How we doing? Nope, we're good.
Oh, no.
We're good. We're good.
If it's a winner by the end of it, Trump will own it.
Do horses get to go to the White House? Seriously. I'm not even...
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, if you win the Derby...
I know that used to not be the case. Funny side did not go.
Women's college basketball, NCAA champions get to go.
You're right.
Do horses get to go?
They have championship day. I wonder if the owners, the trainers, the horse gets to go.
Yeah.
Good call.
Probably.
Nice job, Casey Kurtz. Appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend. Did he say bye?
I think he just hung up. It's all good.
He's in the racetrack. We come back, a little Jacksonville Sharks talk. They're at home tomorrow night at the arena trying to get back on track. And the coach, Jason Gibson, joins us right after this on the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website, right here, etajax.org. Don't wait, apply today.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
I'm ready to show my hand, ready to take a stand. Wait on a sign above, and I am ready. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game.
Action Sports Jacks is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
All right, we got the home games coming up tomorrow on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. And also make sure you get down to the arena as well. Check out jacksharks.com, how you can get tickets, what's the latest promotion, and big game coming up tomorrow night as well at 7:05 against the Iowa Barnstormers. Here right now, we welcome in Jason Gibson, the head coach of the Jacksonville Sharks. And it looks like you're in the office, Coach. How's it going on the day before the game?
I'm in the practice dungeon right now. It's where you go out to hide to get stuff done so people can find you.
I like it.
Well, hey, I know you're probably not the happiest of coaches right now. Lost a couple of games in a row. How do you get back on the right track coming up tomorrow night?
You don't turn the ball over. I mean, you just, turnovers. I think 2 games we played really well. Obviously, we didn't turn the ball over at all, but you can't turn the ball over. Our defense is lights out. Offensive, we got, we're like 3rd in the league in total yards and top 5 categories in all these categories, except for the part that matters the most, and that's holding on to the ball. So we gotta eliminate those the last 2 games. I think we've had 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. So we gotta fix that.
Coach, and how do you fix that? Like, do you go above and beyond that at practice? Do you reiterate it, right? Do you have guys do extra drills? Do you not put so much emphasis on it and just say, like, hey, clean it up, guys, you were professionals here? Like, how do you approach it as a head coach?
Wow, I mean, good question. From a defensive standpoint, I will say this, we do turnover drill, old school. I learned that one day. I was with the Falcons during training camp, and they dedicated a whole couple periods every day to turnovers, how to scoop the ball. They literally taught us how to scoop the ball, how to fall on it. You'd be surprised. And so I kind of remembered that. So from a defensive standpoint, we do turnover drill once a week, making sure that we're getting them out. And last year we only had 7 turnovers the entire season on defense. This year we've got 9 through 5 games.
Wow.
We got a guy leading the league in picks, and so we take the ball away because we practice it offensively. I mean, you can do some drills, but it's also just a matter of focus. You keep reiterating it in practice, and you keep putting it out there. Hold on to the ball. Little stuff like that. So,
Handful of games in now, and you guys have had some injuries. So where are you on that scope of things? And I think you made a trade this week as well. So, I mean, you've got some new guys that you're probably factoring in here just because of the nature of the game.
Well, it doesn't get any better. When you talk about injuries, go to any team in this league, take off their number 1 offensive weapon, and take out their best defensive guy on the D-line. That's hard. It's hard to replace. And so then our number 2 running back was concussion off of a really bad hit that everybody saw. So then he's out. And then our other running back, had some issues and family issues or whatever, and he just wanted to go back to California. So we traded him. Now the guy we traded him for, Larry McCallum, we were trying to get him in the offseason anyway. He won't be here for this game. But out of FAU, Larry kind of fits the mold of what we're trying to do. We get Tyler King back, after the bye week. But for now, injuries is part of this game. Everybody's got to go through them. I mean, the last 2 years in a row, I've lost a quarterback in the first 2 weeks of the season, and then you spend the rest of the season, wheeling around trying to find quarterbacks. So I think we replaced. We played last game without a nose guard. Not many people know that, and we've been leading the league in yards against us as far as not allowing rushing yards. But when you lose a nose guard going into a game, it's kind of hard. That's the heart of any defense, and that hurt. So we got a good replacement today. This week, kid named Tyshawn Holmes out of Northwestern. He's a 2-year starter at Northwestern. Big kid, 330, 335. Can plug the middle. And our defensive end are as good as anybody in the league. And when they have help in the middle, it allows them to cut them loose. So I'm expecting a lot out of them, and our defense is lights out, in my opinion.
Iowa Barnstormers come into town. They're 1-3. By this time, you kind of get a feel of a team, right? I mean, it's tough in the first game, second game of the season, maybe even the third game. But now you've got probably enough tape on these guys to kind of figure out. So what kind of matchup are we looking at tomorrow night?
Well, it's going to be, iron versus iron, just because of the pure fact they lead the league in every passing offensive category. The first 3 games, they had a young kid there throwing that was a good passer, and they threw the ball more than anybody in the league. But he threw like 4 or 5 picks a game. And, I just talked about it before. You just can't win doing that. They played a great game against Green Bay earlier in the year, put up a lot of points. They've been putting up some points defensively, maybe not so much. But, I feel like we've got probably the top pass defense in the league, and we're going against the top pass offense in the league. And then on top of that, they signed a young man on quarterback named Cahoon, who was in a couple NFL camps, and they're sitting at 0-3 last week and come out and drop 67 points and beat Indianapolis. So all of a sudden now they're carrying a little bit of momentum, feel like, hey, we got some things solved. We're on the right track. So, again, we're catching a team on the upswing. We dropped 2 in a row. Shocking, to be honest with you. But we're at home, and I expect to play really well at home.
Yeah, 7:05 tomorrow night at the arena. Make sure you get downtown. Check it out. Check jacksharks.com out for how you can get tickets if you don't already have them to tomorrow's game. Visiting with Jason Gibson, Sharks head coach, obviously coming off 2 losses, but still 3-2. We've talked about some of maybe the not so great things going right now because of the 2 losses. Is there anybody that has surprised you, Coach? From, hey, where you had him in camp or your expectation, and you're like, oh, didn't see this coming, and some of these roles that you have to play anyway that you maybe didn't anticipate them playing. Anybody jumping out at you right now?
I mean, this isn't coaches talk. Honestly, all of them. That's what's crazy about the 2 losses. This is a really good group of guys. We put a lot of effort and a lot of time in the offseason of not just grabbing a guy because he runs a 4.4. Not just grabbing a guy because he's 6'5" or whatever. We put some time into making sure we had the right people from a character standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, from a measurables. I knew what I wanted per position. I just turned down a player yesterday. He was Defensive Player of the Year. But his measurables don't fit what we're looking for at that position. And I feel like those things matter, especially in this league. I learned that last year. Certain things matter. We got some long DBs, and it really is taking a toll on teams as far as that's why we're tops in the league in picks on defense. So, but for players that stood out, I just can't pick one. I really can't. They're all making plays. And to say somebody surprised me is no, they didn't surprise me. That's what we brought them in for.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You got a bye week coming up next week, so go get a W. I just want to ask you a brief thing. I know you don't want to look too far ahead. No coach does. But how odd is it that you'll play back-to-back against the same team? Are you that'll be an interesting, at least you get a week to prep, and then you won't need a week to prep. You'll be very familiar, I think.
That's already at the film, right?
Yeah, is that just an odd scheduling quirk, and does that present some challenges down the road?
I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think if I've done that before. Maybe once in all my time. So who knows? That could be good. It could be bad. And but the good thing is, from a scouting standpoint, you can just scout yourself with the last game. So not only are you grading your film, but you're also grading your film and saying, yeah, I'm not going to do that next time. But at this point early in the season, it really comes down to injuries, and it comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes. All you got to do is, like I tell the guys, if you just play base football and do your responsibility, no matter what we draw up, if you just do your responsibility and be where you're supposed to be in alignment and assignment, you'll be in every single game. You start screwing stuff up, miss a coverage, run the wrong route. It's little things that we really haven't had to do. You don't want to burn timeouts early. Those things are like gold. And so, those things add up to me. And if you just play a straightforward, solid game, if you just play with discipline, we talk about it all the time. Play with discipline. If you play with discipline, you're in every single game, every one.
Play with discipline. Hang on to the football. Go get that football. Do that tomorrow night, Coach Jason Gibson. Sharks and the Iowa Barnstormers tomorrow at the arena, 7 o'clock. Head on down there. Air conditioned, getting warmed up. Great place to enjoy with the fun and the family and inside. Hey, Austen can still hit, by the way. We did a commercial shoot that we'll unveil on Monday. And surprisingly, I can take a hit. I found out a little bit.
So you guys put the pads on and locked it up a little bit.
We did.
We put pads on. If you needed some kind of decoy, Brent Martineau's going to be your guy, Coach.
Well, I tell people I can still go out there and do it one time.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately.
My body's spent, so I can do 1 rep.
4th and 1. Game on the line.
Unfortunately, we had about 7 or 8 reps at this.
All
right, man, go get a W. Thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes.
Thank you, man.
That is Jason Gibson. We will have that commercial for you coming up this week. I was bleeding, a little slight ankle injury, but it was fun. And he didn't really hit me as hard as he could.
Do you want some slam poetry quick or not?
Let's go.
I got it.
Let's go.
Do we got the button, Hamby, or not? We'll just bypass the Duval Daily. We'll get that next week. But Hamby, you got some cafe sounds real quick?
Searching.
Yep. Bet you are. It's Friday. We got Pete in the parking lot.
Still can't believe the Lakers are already out.
I love it.
You love it, though,
yeah. Come on.
Go ahead and do your thing, Austin.
Okay, cool.
Edmonton looked good last night. The hockey playoffs, by the way.
Yep.
I was watching that game.
NHL slam poetry coming soon, too, as well. NBA slam poetry. We're back like Dana. If you don't know, now you know. Heat may be out, but they actually won thanks to Greek Freak 2.0.
Oh.
Now, if you don't know what that is, go and Google that. If you don't know what that is, go on Twitter Greek Freak 2.0. You know what I'm talking about, Brent?
Nope.
She's a reporter. It's trending. Say you aren't getting swept and then you lose by 50. Villain behavior. Hero has lost his swagger. Pistons haven't won a home game in 13 years. Well, make that 14 because it's a Brunson dagger. Jalen Brunson last night.
Another big shot.
Yep.
You can go as far as he can take you.
Yep. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Magic fans wanted Boston. You got Boston in 5. With Dame's Achilles and Doc Rivers coaching, Bucks turn into Bambi's mom. They are not alive. And hey, and that's the Bucks I'm grilling. Like, that's my team, but it wasn't good. Gonna start something with Giannis, Hallie's dad. I don't know who's more lame, you or your son. Fighting with Giannis, you have a better chance against the grill if it was one-on-one. What is he doing? What is he doing, dude? Leave Giannis alone. We got 2 more. Warriors and Rockets. It is a battle. Curry lost a casualty in his finger. It's not just a game to you. This is life and death. Playoff Jimmy is back and is down to stay and linger. Now that was a finger linger. Ham, did you get that one or not?
I'm a fan of that one.
Yeah, you get it, man. Shout out to yep. All right. And last but not least,
good this time of year.
Lakers are out. Thought they were unstoppable like a Hulk. Not so fast, brother. Ha ha, Lakers lose and try to make up excuses. Call them Jim Nance because it's a tradition like no other.
Oh, very good. Nice. One more hoop note to end NBA Slam Poetry. Popovich has moved to the front office for the Spurs.
Okay.
And interim Mitch Johnson now takes over the coaching duties. Obviously, Greg Popovich been struggling with some health things. And so it looks like his coaching days are over. One of the legends.
For sure, man. Great personality.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Fun week.
What is this? Halloween? Mike Myers coming to the door?
Thanks.